Thank you, Sags. And the playoff weekend always guarantees drama, glory and tears. But whatever happens here today, both Newport and Tranmere will have a sense of pride. Neither expected to be here when the season kicked off on August the 4th. Mike Flynn's team were just over a year on from surviving with the final kick of the final game. Relegation may have also meant liquidation, while Tranmere had just returned from 3 years of footballing purgatory in the National League. But here they both are, and while defeat won't feel like the end of the world, Newport and Tranmere know this is a massive opportunity, and the vagaries of lower league football mean it's impossible to predict when this might come round again. It is all about seizing the day. Ross Joyce, our referee, shakes hands with the two captains, the Tranmere goalkeeper Scott Davis to our left, and Mark O'Brien, the Newport captain, to the right. He was the player who scored that goal against Notts County back in 2017 to guarantee survival. I'm sure, Chris, that day no Newport fan thought they'd be here 2 years on.
No, exactly. It shows you what Mickey Flynn has done. I guess what he's put into the players, the mindset, the characters. He's put those demands on them. I've got to say they've answered every step of the way. You know, I think this is going to be outstanding. I bet the players, they just cannot wait for that whistle to go now. Get into the flow. Show no respect. This is me. Start 100 miles an hour. You know, I think very lucky Newport were in probably the first leg against Mansfield. Started a little bit slow, first 45, and like you say, Mark O'Brien could have seen red early doors. So it's important to get in their faces. Don't let Tranmere get the ball down and play the way that they want to. And in that transition, can they be calm? Can they be collected? Can they use the ball better than what they did then? So, but you know, it's a final. Everything goes out the window. Just make sure, do not play the occasion.
It is typical Wembley final weather, bright sunshine and very, very hot down there. A blast on the whistle from Ross Joyce, and the playoff final weekend is underway on Talksport, the only place you can hear all three finals. Newport in amber and black, playing from right to left towards the east end of Wembley in the first half. And here is Robbie Wilmot, who is a survivor of Newport's win here against Wrexham back in 2013, which brought them back into the Football League. He tries to play it in towards Matt. Banks comes in with a challenge, and Rydalsh will avoid the corner on the far side ahead of Amond, but Perkins knocks it straight out of play, and this will be the first opportunity for Mickey Demetriou to launch one of his long throws.
That's good for Wilmot there. He gets the ball, he's got an opportunity to go forward. I love Jamal Matt. He shows, uses his strength well, but Woodhard there as well. Great defending coming in. Don't let it go out for a corner. Keep it as a throw-in. And I think Perkins it was that put it out, but no, better defending, but great forward play as well.
Held in high and loopy by Demetriou, flicked on towards the far post, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. A minute played, and by this time in the playoff final 12 months ago against Boreham Wood, Tranmere had already had a man sent off, so they'll believe they've made a better start this time around. This is their third successive playoff final. They lost to Forest Green here in 2017. Another opportunity to get back into the Football League, and they won in remarkable circumstances against Boreham Wood here 12 months ago. James Norwood scored a late winner. They played virtually the whole game with 10 men. But Newport also have recent Wembley experience. Many of their side played here against Tottenham in the FA Cup 12 months ago. So very few players on the field find there's some familiar territory. Here is Amond with a run down the centre for Newport. Monte comes across and makes the challenge, and just for a second there it looked as though Porrig Amond had squeezed in between Caprice and Monte, but the big Cameroonian did well to recover, and it's another opportunity for Demetriou to throw one in long.
Yeah, Porrig Amond there, he's lively, he's onto it, he's driving. Monte though, he defends well, covers well for his man. The relationship between Matt and Amond is very good at the minute. They've got a good, obviously they've had a great relation so far as well, but they're connecting well.
High ball into the area. Matt was challenging at the near post, headed away by Banks, and then Connor Jennings will gather, and he plays it long up towards the halfway line, and it's taken down well by Norwood, and Norwood now has the opportunity to break down the right hand side. Morrison filled up towards the edge of the penalty area. Norwood though goes alone, and eventually it's cleared by O'Brien, only as far as the bearded Ollie Banks down this right hand side. Now Caprice, a fullback who loves to get forward, infield to Perkins, and now Morris up towards the edge of the penalty area, and he goes down looking for the free kick, and Ross Joyce rightly says nothing doing, and Newport will clear long downfield. It's out of play though ahead of Jamil Matt. 3 minutes played on Talksport. It is the League 2 playoff final. and it's a typically frenetic start, and it's Newport County 0, Tranmere Rovers 0.
I have to say Newport started very well. Tranmere dropped back a little bit there, lefted Norwood all on his own. The ball came up, he holds it up well, but he's on his own. You know, he's isolated a little bit there. Too much for the Tranmere players to get up and support. He tried to do a little bit too much on his own, but again they kept possession with all the Banks, and that's what he does. He breaks up, he gets on the ball, and Perkins is always an option.
And now Bennett plays it wide to this near side, but he was caught by Harris, and it will be a free kick for Newport. Jay Harris was in the Wrexham team, beaten here by Newport back in 2013 when Newport County completed their remarkable return to the Football League. The club were wound up in 1989. They were reformed in the 8th tier of English football. They had to play outside of Wales in Gloucestershire for a couple of years. It was a long, steady road back, and now they are looking to earn their first promotion to the 3rd tier of English football since 1980 as Montfort heads a long ball away on the edge of his penalty area. Sheehan wide to the far side. Regan Paul will deliver the early cross in, looking for Amon, but it's beyond him, and it's gathered by stooping Stock Davis at the near post.
I've got to say it's going to be a fantastic battle between Matten and Monte as well. But again there, Regan Paul, opportunity to put it in the box, puts it in, and Amon's always lively to it.
4 minutes played, 0-0 at Wembley. Now Connor Jennings given the opportunity to drive forward, and the shot, right-footed, was deflected, and in the end it helped out Joe Day as it floated gently into his midriff.
Again, Connor Jennings finds himself in a little bit more central. That's where he likes to be, and let him go. You know, whenever that opportunity comes, take it on. You know, a lot of deflection there, but ask the question again.
Crowd of around 25,000 here today. Marginally more fans have made the journey from the Wirral than South Wales, but it's a very different atmosphere for Tranmere compared to the 2 previous semi-finals or finals against Forest Green and Boreham Wood, where the Tranmere supporters made up about 80 to 90% of the crowd, but it's much more of a 50-50 split here today, as Ladderby, former Tranmere player, does well to win it in midfield, and it's worked wide to the right-hand side, and Wilmot, early cross into the area behind Amon. Matt will shape for the volley, it's blocked by Nelson, appeals for handball inside the penalty area against Ladderby, and the referee Ross Joyce has given the free kick to Tranmere.
I think every right to ask the question as well there. Great ball in from Wilmot as well. Amon just lets it go, gives him the shout I think from Matt, and I think the big man can do better. I think he knows he's going to get there first. He takes the ball, but does it come off the hand? Definitely ball to hand, but again, ask the question.
Well, the arm was dangled out by Sid Nelson, and it clearly struck him on the hand before Ladderby challenged Perkins and fouled him. Next season, that will be a penalty.
No, I've got to agree. I think, but great build-up play as well. That front two definitely connecting well.
Now Norwood into the penalty area for Tranmere. Cuts it back low, looking for Jennings at the near post, and that's an excellent challenge by O'Brien to clear. Now down the right, it's Norwood once again. Harris infield to pick out Banks. Banks can come infield and strike it left-footed. The right-footed shot, though, in the end, maybe took a deflection again to take the sting out of it, and it hopped into the arms of Joe Day, stood on the edge of his 6-yard area. We played 6 minutes on Talksport, the home of the EFL playoffs, and it's 0-0 as Ladderby comes forward now for Newport. He tries his luck from fully 45 yards, and Josh Ladderby has not scored since December 17, and that's why it's nearer the corner flag than the goal.
Well, he had opportunity, didn't he? He could drive with it a little bit more. He had options either side of him as well, but you know what? It's bouncing nice, it's at the right height, take it on. I just have to say, Nigel, about Norwood as well. He ticks every box to me. So powerful, his awareness, you know, I think they're trying to get it in for Connor Jennings, but again, he's just clinical when that moment comes. He knows when he's in the box, he's got all answers for me.
Well, it does seem he'll be on his way from Prenton Park following this game, out of contract, in a number of clubs higher up the footballing food chain have expressed an interest. And he's a player who has got better year on year with Tranmere. He was their first signing as a non-league club, and he scored the goal here last year to guarantee promotion as Banks challenges Ladderby on this near side, and it will be a free kick for Newport County. And Ladderby against Banks is an interesting confrontation to watch, because in a previous time at previous clubs when Ladderby was at Torquay, he was given a 10-match ban for biting Ollie Banks when he was at Chesterfield.
Well, I played with Joss Ladderby at Notts County, and just a fantastic guy. It's one of them you see red in certain moments, but he done the right thing there.
Wilmot's free kick flicked on towards that far post. Amond with the first touch, and it was Mack coming in, just unable to apply the finishing touch.
I've got to say, that's 2 occasions now. It's a great ball in from Wilmot as well. But Patrick, Amon just flicks it on there. Well, Jamal Mack, it's just got to be a little bit more lively to it. I've got to say, in the first 5 minutes as well, first at the early stages, there was a long throw coming. Jamal Mack gets the head on it, and Amon could be a little bit more live on his front foot, try and anticipate it to happen.
8 minutes played. You're listening to Newport County against Tranmere in the League 2 playoff final on Talksport, with McDonald's Fun Football providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Norwood again dropping back into the midfield area, plays it wide to this near side, the Tranmere right, and Caprice. Now Morris infield again. Banks has a pocket of room about 25 yards out. He evades Sheehan, wide towards Caprice. The cross is floated into the penalty area, but it bobbles away from both Jennings and Norwood. And Regan Paul, who came through the Newport Academy before moving on to Manchester United, quickly plays it on towards Wilmot. Wilmot's ball forward though is cut out, and now Perkins will find Harris. Banks, who very much pulls the strings in the Tranmere midfield, finds Caprice. Couple of step overs from him as he looks to go beyond Butler for pace on this near side. He's driven further wide, almost out of play. Now he cuts it back towards the edge of the penalty area, but it's cleared away by Demetriou up towards the halfway line. Now Nelson regathers for Tranmere, who have settled down after a difficult start to this game. Morris infield towards Banks again, and now Perkins, who has been such an important signing for Tranmere following his January arrival from Rochdale, a player who won League One last season with Wigan Athletic. Banks with a long diagonal ball forward, wide to the far side. He was looking for Jennings, but it's scraped away by Paul, and Tranmere have a throw-in on the far side.
Again, Tranmere taking the opportunity to get a couple of little passes in, players getting a touch, and like you say, growing into the match, which is needed very much on their back foot, and that's down to the press and the quality that Newport are showing so far.
We'll be down to pitch side shortly as Tranmere look to come forward now, but Rydalsh loses out on this near side and eventually goes out of play, and Newport have a throw-in. So let's go down to Ian Abrahams, who at this stage in a playoff final is usually melting.
Absolutely, it is boiling down here. I would suggest it's in the mid-20s pitch side. Mickey Mellon not happy with the start that Tranmere have made, doing a couple of tactical things to try and change that. As for Michael Flynn, he's got his assistant alongside him as well. I think he thinks that Jamel Matt, like you, should have scored a minute ago.
Thanks, Moose. Mickey Mellon stood there all in black to the left, and Mike Flynn in a very crisp white shirt and black slacks to the right as Tranmere look to come forward again. It's Connor Jennings, 25 yards out, has to rather scoop the ball out of his feet and find Caprice, laid wide to this near side, looking for Morris, who tries to step in with Butler, and Butler always knew that ball was going to spin out of play, and it will be a throw into Newport. The Newport fans are at the west end of the stadium to our left, and that was the area occupied by the Tranmere supporters during their 2 previous playoff finals here in the National League, and the Tranmere fans, many of them already looking beetroot red in the sunshine, away to our left. Rydalsh pings a long ball forward, a good one as well, headed down into the penalty area by Norwood. It's headed back towards Norwood again, a high cross to the far post. Banks will try and control, it's cleared away as far as Jennings, who tries the curler right footed. He scored from long range in spectacular fashion here against Forest Green 2 years ago, but this time high over the top.
I've got to say, every time Tranmere get into those wide areas, the ball's coming into the box here, Connor Jennings will be very disappointed. Fantastic first touch as well, sees the goal, it's open, his body's in front, he can just feel it round the player, but hit the target. He'll be disappointed he hasn't.
12 minutes played. This is the start of our playoff weekend on Talksport. Tomorrow Sags will be back alongside Sam, David Connolly and Matt Murray from 2 o'clock for the League One playoff final. There'll be a crowd of around 80,000 for Charlton against Sunderland, and then we'll be back here on Monday as well for another full house, the £170 million game this time, and that's between Aston Villa and Derby. More immediately over on Talksport 2, there is coverage of the Gallagher Premiership semi-finals. Exeter against Northampton will be the second one of those coming up shortly, as Norwood has been fouled by Butler on this near side, and it will be a free kick for Tranmere. And Newport have created the more clear-cut chances so far, but Tranmere just beginning to occupy the Newport back four a bit more than they were in the opening stages. Banks is over the free kick, just in front of Mike Flynn, the Newport manager. Banks with the free kick, aimed for Monthe at the far post, but it's beyond him, headed away by Harris, and now gathered by Rideouts. The early cross in towards the far post is beyond the far post, and it will dribble out of play for a throw into Newport.
Again, wide area, Ridehouse brings the ball in. Look at the bodies, 4 or 5 Tranmere players in the box, just poor quality, but it's great breaking their neck to get in there, bodies getting forward, using the ball well. I think Mickey Mellons will be a lot happier now.
And we have so many finals coming up on Talksport over the next couple of days. The Europa League final, Arsenal against Chelsea on Wednesday night, and we'll have a big team out in Madrid for the Champions League final next Saturday. Of course, Liverpool against Spurs, and also next Saturday before that we will have England's final warm-up game against New Zealand before they head to the Women's World Cup. England, as you heard earlier, beating Denmark by 2-0 at the Bescott Stadium earlier today. 0-0 here at the moment as Caprice gathers for Tranmere on this near side. 14 minutes played on Talksport. Morris in field, but it's behind Harris, and Newport should be able to clear the ball away with Paul wide to the far side, and Wilmot, who does have pace to burn down the Newport right hand side. Matt and Amon both wait for the cross. It's aimed towards Amon, that it's met by Nelson. Good header away from him. Back out wide towards Poole again, in the shadows on the far side, the Newport right. Now it's flicked into the path of Sheehan, who will try and attack the penalty area. He goes down as Perkins makes the challenge, but here is Amond, and then the shot is eventually fired in by Scott Bennett, and it's high and wide.
Well, I've got to say it's great play by Wilmot and Sheehan there. The ball finally does come in. Amon keeps it alive, and for Bennett there, it's a great opportunity. He's got to do better, get your body over the ball, and it's going through legs or anything, but he's lofted that way high and over. Poor shot in the end.
And Newport are a side who have been living on the edge all season, really. They only secured their place in the playoffs with 3 minutes of the final match to go at Morecambe when Jamil Matt scored an equalising goal. They went 10 matches unbeaten towards the end of the regular season. They rose from 13th to 7th, and then they saw off Mansfield, who were strong favourites to win their playoff semi-final. And they were behind for 75 minutes in the first leg at Rodney Parade before a controversial penalty gave them a route back into the game. Here is Norwood now, believes he was being pushed and pulled by Dimitriou, but the referee is happy for play to continue. Now the tall frig of Jamil Matt has been caught by Ollie Banks just inside the centre circle, and it will be a Newport free kick, and every set piece for Newport spells danger for Tranmere.
No, it does. They've got such a presence. The ball goes in with quality as well. They keep it alive in that final third. I have to say, James Norwood there, it's a free kick all day for me. I think with Dimitriou coming up through the back of him there, good body strength. Referee's got to protect him sometimes.
Wilmot's early cross into the area looking for Amond, and Nelson again wins an important header. O'Brien heads it back out wide to the far side, and it's quickly regathered and then played back into the penalty area by Wilmot. Now Regan Paul with the early ball in. The header is just wide. I'm not sure Scott Davis had that covered. Porrigamon coming around the back, and yet again Newport giving Tranmere a real scare.
Again, Amon, he's just alive. He's on the move all the time. I thought the opportunity was the ball was going to come in a little bit earlier. Took a couple of touches and then it came in. I thought the chance was gone, but again, he done well to rise at the back, and I don't think he did have it covered, Nigel.
Yeah, Sid Nelson is just rather gingerly getting back to his feet. The Tranmere player who is on loan from Millwall, also had a spell at Newport on loan a couple of years ago, and he's been an important figure in the Tranmere back four recently. Mark Ellis damaged his knee ligaments against Forest Green over Easter, and both Ellis and Monthe had an excellent partnership in the second half of the season, but Nelson has been rather thrust into some very big games recently and has done well. Here is Sheehan now for Newport. Player signed from Swansea City, and he's pinged a good ball wide to this near side, and it's taken down superbly by Butler on the Newport left, but his infield ball is cut out by Kieran Morris. Now Bennett goes back towards Sheehan again, and Tranmere are looking to press as high and hard as they can with every opportunity, but Norwood at times is rather looking isolated here. Now Labadie rolls the challenge of Banks midway inside the Tranmere half and goes back towards Paul. A ball right across the face of the field, but it's gathered by Dimitriou, and here is Butler coming forward down the left. The early cross is kneed away by Nelson at the near post, nodded down though by Bennett. Clever interchange between Bennett and Butler, but Bennett just unable to keep the ball in play, and Tranmere will have a throw-in by the corner flag on this near side.
I have to say, very impressed with Newport. Every time they got the ball, they're using it well. You say about Tranmere trying to press high, but they're going in ones and twos. Newport are showing great quality in the ball, they're just playing through it. Then Tranmere have to respect that and drop a little bit deeper, but as I say, Newport got willing runners, there. Labadie, you got Dan Butler as well, who shows great energy and great quality on the ball as well. So at the minute, Tranmere just have to find a way, get the ball back, get those little couple of passes in and grow and build their way up the pitch. Exactly what Newport are doing just now.
Nearly 19 minutes played on Talksport, 0-0 in the League 2 playoff final. Banks with an early ball over the top, inviting Connor Jennings to run onto it, and Regan Paul just guides it back towards Joe Day, who was the League 2 goalkeeper of the year, although interestingly the Golden Glove for most clean sheets went to Scott Davis at the other end. So already it maybe has the look of a long day here, doesn't it?
Well, it does. You can see that, but even with Connor Jennings being the point man there, that's because Norwood's getting frustrated. He's dropping deep because he wants to go on the ball. He's a good player, he wants the ball at his feet. It's just got to be, he's got to be disciplined, to make sure that he stretches the pitch, keeps that the distance between the lines proper.
Both league games were very tight. Newport winning at Tranmere in the early weeks of the season. Fraser Franks scored the only goal. He's the player who very sadly had to retire due to heart problems later on in the season, and he's here today supporting his former teammates and trying to be involved, although it must be a day of mixed feelings for him. And it was a goalless draw at Rodney Parade late in the season when both sides were looking to hunt down a playoff place. Tranmere were around the top 7 for a lot longer than Newport though, as Montha clears downfield for Tranmere again. Norwood looking to back into the challenge of O'Brien. He finds Harris, who plays it down the channel right hand side looking for Norwood, but Norwood, I think, maybe sensing it could be a long afternoon, stays where he is for now.
Well, Norwood again done everything right. It comes to Harris, that's when he's got an opportunity to drive, keep the ball, keep possession of the ball for a bit. They're trying to force the pass, keep possession of the ball, grow into the match. At the minute, Norwood, look at the distance between him and the midfield, it's massive.
Butler's cross into the area, headed away at the near post for Tranmere by Nelson, but it's then given away by Perkins. Here is Sheehan up towards the edge of the area. Monthe and Matt go tumbling again. That's been a real tussle so far, and I think the Tranmere man is maybe edging it now. Neat footwork from Perkins down the left hand side, infield to Norwood, who lays it off to Jennings. Square for Banks looking to drive forward. Norwood again was looking to work the 1-2 with Jennings midway through the Newport half, but it breaks down. But appreciative applause from the Tranmere fans who are seeing their team for the first time trying to play some constructive football.
Well, David Perkins gets on the ball, he goes for a little run, great little bit of close control, but again it's all one-touch football there. Norwood that come, that's when you want to make it stick and then feel your pass. He's trying to do a little one round the corner there, get control of the ball and then try those little things.
And again, Matt is flagged offside as he controls ahead of Nelson, and Nelson here has a problem. He's down on his haunches again, the Tranmere central defender. Well, they had so many injury problems in the first half of their playoff against Boreham Wood last season. Scott Davis, the goalkeeper and captain, is just checking he's okay. They do have defensive reinforcements on the bench. The club captain Steve McNulty and Adam Buxton, who could play as either a fullback or a central defender, but they won't want to make an enforced change so early on in the game. 22 minutes played on Talksport, the home of the EFL playoffs, and it's 0-0 at the moment between the sides who finished 6th and 7th in the League 2 table. So really, they beat the more fancied sides in the semi-finals, Mansfield and Forest Green Rovers. As a Tranmere move breaks down again on the far side, the left. And here is Paul for Newport County in the amber and black. Now Sheehan. It's another expansive ball from him out of the shadows into the sunshine on this near side, looking for Butler, but it's cut out by Caprice, and potentially that's a dangerous ball for Newport, because if Caprice brings that down, He's quick, and there's plenty of room behind Butler.
No, you're spot on, Nige, but I think they're playing me a little bit of confidence. They're using the ball well, and it's one of them. When Tranmere are all over there, of course, with the pace of Caprice, they can defend that and cover it well, but I'd take the risk all day long, because if they get it down in control, they're causing all sorts of bother down this left flank.
Now Harris tangling with Bennett in the midfield area, and Bennett...
You just want to more, Nige. Newport just want to more. All the second balls are winning. They're tackling, they're pressing as a unit. They're controlling the game at the minute. Tranmere are getting it, and when they have a nice little bit of play, then Newport have to respect that and they drop. But at the minute, it's just Newport on the front foot, because Tranmere haven't been good enough with the ball at their feet.
Nicky Dimitriou will take the free kick, conceded by Harris for the challenge on Bennett. High into the area, nodded down by Matt. Labadie was looking to fasten onto it, but it's Jennings who shows good footwork to extricate himself from that area. Finds Morris. Morris now lays it off to the right-hand side, and Caprice. A long ball boomed forward, but Dimitriou will step in before Norwood to clear, but he's only found Perkins. Perkins gets a shot from the crowd. He's challenged by Amond, and Amond got the ball, and now Wilmot will scurry forward for Newport. Coming infield down the right, he's found Matt, who was onside inside the area, but his cross is blocked by Monthe, and Perkins has the opportunity to clear. Infield towards Banks, and now Perkins again with a longer ball forward, finding Norwood inside the centre circle. Neat turn from him. Harris continues. Caprice is steaming forward on the overlap down the right-hand side. That's the ball, and Harris has played it. Here is Caprice with a cross into the area. Norwood's volley is turned away by Day. That's a brilliant save as James Norwood looked for his 33rd goal of the season.
Well, what do I tell you? The ball comes into the middle of the pitch. Norwood keeps it alive. It sticks. Plays it to Harris. As you mentioned before, Caprice with his pace, breaking his neck to go down. I thought the pass was a little bit overhit, but it wasn't. Caprice makes a great run, cuts it back, and who's the man in the right place? Connects well. What a save that is from Day. Fantastic strike, great save.
And that really is a microcosm of Tranmere's season. They do soak up pressure, but they also have a man who can score goals at the other end. And he has the ball now on the far side, but Regan Paul makes the challenge, and Tranmere have a throw-in by the corner flag down their left. It was probably slightly too close today than Norwood would have appreciated, but plenty of power. Here is Jennings now inside the area, wide towards Ridehouse down the left. His cross in, looking for Harris, who challenges for it. He goes down as Butler comes away with the ball, and he won it fairly. Now the long ball forward from him, looking for Wilmot, who will try and isolate Monthe, but Monthe can also put a shift in, and he steps in, and that is absolutely typical of Manny Monthe as he holds off Wilmot. He has about 2 feet and 20 stone more than him, and he just shepherds the ball behind for a goal kick.
Well, I've got to say, what a ball that is from Butler. Great in, obviously Wilmot doesn't even need to break stride, takes it, but good defending. Monthe as well just gets his body in front. Absolute specimen of a man, not getting round him. Outstanding defending. I've got to say what you said about Norwood as well. You know, I think he is the man. Tranmere can soak up pressure and use him, but he's isolated. Make sure that when the ball goes up to him, you know that he's got the quality that it's going to stick, but make sure you've got willing runners to support him, Nige, because he'll keep it alive for you.
Well, Joe Day with the most significant save of the game so far, and while Newport have had opportunities, Scott Davis has not really been worked, as Caprice is heavily challenged by Labadie on this near side, but the referee says Labadie got the ball, and here is Butler now down the left-hand side. Newport again pouring forward. Butler goes from one fullback to another, to the right, and Regan Paul. And here is Wilmot now, who drifts away from Jennings. The early ball in was looking for Labadie, but it's overhit, and it's into the arms of Scott Davis. And Newport in their semi-final second leg against Mansfield had 21 efforts on goal. Only 3 of those were on target, and maybe we can see that being replicated here.
No, well, they're using the ball well. They're getting into final third, great quality. Again, you've got to go, Jamal Matt's had opportunities. Again, for me as a striker, I'm looking at that. He's done everything right. The ball into him. He can't really do much on there. If he comes and shows, then Wilmot can do a little bit better, but the quality's not great. I think he moves well. His movement's great. He makes bad balls good ball. But at the minute, there's not been a clinical chance against Matt from the Amond little flick on. Can read that a little bit better and try and make contact. He did read it, but he was too slow off the mark.
And we are having a water break, so the temperatures must have risen significantly. It needs to be 28 degrees at pitch level to have a water break, and both sets of players and the referees are heading across towards the touchline, and we can join Ian Abrahams down there.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure it's 28 degrees, but I mean it is absolutely baking down here. So much so that a couple of the players that started off, you sort of Under Armour kind of skin stuff, which protects them, keeps them warmed in. A couple of players now taking their shirts off, actually removing that body clothing from them. It really is very hot. I think certainly looking at the body language of the two managers, Michael Flynn is the happier. Mickey Mellon and his number 2 seem to be dishing out a fair few instructions down in front of me.
Have you taken yours off, Smith?
Do you know what? I'm sat next to a lovely lady from the EFL called Scarlett. I think if I took my top off, not only would she give birth prematurely, she'd probably eject me from Wembley as well.
Yeah, I think the latter's a lot more likely than the former there. Anyway, play is about to get underway here once again. 0-0 with 28 minutes played on Talksport. Following us, there will be an EFL playoff special with Jason Cundy and David Connolly looking back on this game and also looking ahead to our 2 other playoff commentaries this weekend on Talksport. Charlton against Sunderland tomorrow, a repeat of that classic 1998 final, and then on Monday Aston Villa against Derby for a place in the Premier League. On the air from 2 tomorrow with Sags, and then 1 o'clock with Adrian Durham on Monday, the final domestic match of the season. And the stakes could not be higher, and the stakes are also very high for both Newport and Tranmere here. Wilmot now plays it into the area for Amond, who managed to isolate Nelson, and the shot is eventually fired in by Wilmot, but it was a bit of a trundler in the end that is gathered comfortably by Scott Davis.
I'm surprised, Amond, he's around the penalty spot, he receives the ball, good control, he's got one defender to beat, make that yard, turn them, do what you can. I think the ball back, okay, it's a little bit selfless, but you got to take that one board, take it upon yourself to go and make the difference there.
Here is Morris looking to burst into the area, headed away though by the Newport captain Mark O'Brien, and now Matt looks to thread it through towards Amond, who is onside, just forced away from goal by Rydalsh. Ladderby takes over, and now Butler coming forward down the Newport left-hand side. He's found Amond once again. Butler sweeps it into the area, but Perkins steps in before Matt. There's confusion there between Perkins and Nelson. Amond almost nipped in, and as a result, Nelson has to concede the first corner of the game.
Well, I've no idea what Perkins is having to go at Nelson for there. He sees everything in front of him. He takes a good first touch, or was it even probably a poor touch? It's closer to Nelson, but his back's to play. Perkins can give him the shout, come and clear the danger there. Again, Amond alive to it, trying to make something of it, and gets his team a corner.
And Wilmot will take it, and set pieces are where Newport County can be so dangerous. Sheehan makes the run towards the near post. Demetriou and O'Brien are both forward. It's played low by Wilmot. It was the planned move we saw in the FA Cup tie against Newport, where Wilmot played it low and it was swept into the net by Amond. Now Demetriou tries to keep it alive inside the penalty area by nodding it wide to this near side, and Wilmot. Butler's high ball towards the far post. It's nodded down just behind Amond, and it bobbles away for a goal kick. But once again, a mastery of the skies inside the Tranmere penalty area from Newport County, but they can't apply the crucial touch.
I've got to say that the quality that's coming in from Butler's been outstanding there. They've kept it alive. It's bounced in the 6-yard box. Amon finds himself ahead of the ball. It's just one of them. We say, all right, try and anticipate, try and be in the front foot. He was ahead of it, and that's another opportunity. We're talking about Moosty, saying about the managers being the happier, and Mickey Flynn. When you're on top, you've got to score. You've got to make sure that you can put the ball in the back of the net, and he'll have that in the back of his mind, trust me.
Playoffs are all about taking your opportunities, and so far Newport County have not done that. 31 minutes played as Connor Jennings is penalised for a challenge on Regan Poole on the far side, and it will be a free kick for Newport County, and Regan Poole back on loan from Manchester United. He was Newport's youngest ever player when he made his debut at 16, and he's also played in Europe for United before heading back to Rodney Parade.
Well, I'm looking at that one on the monitor now as well, looking at that one back, and there's nothing in it for me. He's strong, puts the arm up, makes sure he's strong, and Regan Poole feels it across the chest. For the referee to give that one's a little bit soft, but you can see by the Tranmere players, the body language, they need to up it. They need to move differently.
Newport enjoying a good spell in the game once again, but it's Norwood coming back to help his defenders. He's looking around for options and doesn't really find any. Here is Morris now back towards Caprice. Caprice was caught late there by Demetriou, and the referee Ross Joyce will have at least a word here with the Newport central defender, because that was nasty. The studs were raised.
That's a yellow card. I can't believe the referee's just talking to him there. I think he's meant to go for the ball. Far too quick it was, Caprice. That should be a yellow card. But look where Norwood's come. Look how deep he's coming now to get the ball. That's not where you want him.
That was a very nasty challenge, looking at the replay. Now Connor Jennings sweeps it wide to the right-hand side, and Norwood is onside. He delivers a high cross towards the far post, nodded away by O'Brien. Perkins will try and win it back. He's almost defeated by the bounce of the ball, but now he has control. He's got support from Rydalsh. Back towards Ollie Banks, and now Rydalsh once again. Banks was caught off the ball there by Ladderby, and the referee saw that, and he's given a free kick. And as we said before, there was a good deal of history between Josh Ladderby and Ollie Banks, and that came to the surface once again.
Well, I don't know what he's doing, Josh. You know, he's one of them. It's a massive game. If the ref's seen it, I can't believe that he's not come out with a card. He's having a little chat with him now, but you've got to have that.
He's 28 years of age.
Yeah, obviously, it's one of them. Obviously, the history between them does go very deep. But in a game of this size, he's got such a responsibility to his teammates. That needs to be snapped out of it, and someone needs to be having a word with him as well. He should know better.
Former Tranmere player as well, but it's a free kick taken by Rydalsh, high towards the edge of the penalty area, nodded away by Butler, and then hooked clear by Labadie up towards halfway. Nelson for Tranmere, a long ball over the top, wide to the far side, looking for Jennings, but it's cleared, and here is Jamil Matz as Newport look to try and build again, wide to the right hand side, and Regan Poole, who has been a fine player for Newport since arriving on loan, and Ladderby takes over in the midfield. He was caught late there by Perkins, but Newport will play on. Early ball into the penalty area from Butler, headed away by Monfey, and I'm sure the referee will go back and look at that challenge by Perkins, that the shot fired in by Sheehan is wildly over the top. And will Perkins get a card here? If he does, he's unfortunate, considering the earlier challenges which haven't received yellow.
Well, I thought it was a strong challenge. I think he made contact with the ball, but also took Labadie as well. I don't think it's a free kick. Look at the monitor, Nige. I think
he got the ball.
I think he got the ball, and all ball as well. But again, opportunity, took it on. I think it was Sheehan that got the shot away there at the end. Should do better for me. That's the question of Davies in goal.
35 minutes played, 0-0. And Mike Flynn is having words with Eddie Ilderton, the fourth official. As the goal kick from Scott Davis of Tranmere is headed back by Bennett into their territory. Now Jamil Matt is allowed to turn. He's got support from Amond ahead of him, who just steps offside. So here is Butler down the left, but the early cross is blocked by Caprice, and it will be a Newport throw, and Mickey Dimitriou will rumble forward once again. He was given his opportunity in league football by Mickey Mellon, signed him for Shrewsbury Town, and he scored on his debut against Tranmere Rovers.
I've got to say, big Jamil Matt's impressing me. Everything he's doing right, he's taking it down. He knows when to help it on, when to make it stick, using his chest and his body strength very well there again, but good quality at the end of it.
Dimitriou, flatter this time, high into the area, flicked onto the far post and then cleared away, nodded back in by Wilmot. Rising to clear was Nelson, and now it's controlled by Ladderby, but as he's straight for the volley, coming into boom it clear was Perkins. Now at the other end, there's a one-on-one battle between Poole and Norwood, and it's given away by Dimitriou, who then clatters into Norwood, and the referee will give Tranmere a free kick, and he's got to put a lid on things here fairly soon, because players from both sides are beginning to take one or two liberties. Tranmere want the quick free kick, and Scott Bennett won't allow them to take it by dribbling the ball away.
Well, I've got to say, good play from Norwood again, keeps the ball alive, makes it stick, and it's just frustration because the ball got away. I think it was Dimitriou that left one on him there, and I think he's a lucky man. Well, it was Butler, wasn't it?
Dimitriou's mistake, and then he fouled Norwood.
That's what I mean, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's just a little bit of frustration there from Dimitriou as well, but good striking play from Norwood.
Caprice with a cross into the area, it's cleared away and then fired in by Perkins on the edge of the penalty area, on target, right-footed, but no real power, and Joe Day makes a comfortable save.
I've got to say, with the quality that Perkins has got, he's tried just to feel it in. I think that's when you can just go power, you know, make sure that you hit good contact, and you ask that question of Joe Day, but he just tried to feel it into the keeper's bottom left-hand corner, and never struck it well enough.
37 minutes played on Talksport, the home of the EFL playoffs. One of these sides will be playing in League One next season, but at the moment it is 0-0, and both sides have had opportunities in the first half. Newport in general play have been better, And it's been a similar sort of game to their semi-final second leg against Mansfield, when they were the better side, applied pressure but couldn't score. Now they have a free kick in a very dangerous area. Jamil Matt, fouled by Nelson, and it's a free kick for Newport, left of centre, about 30 yards out.
Well, I've got to say, I think the referee got that one spot on. I think Nelson just get a little bit frustrated that Jamil Matt's getting the better of him at the minute, and it's just one of them, just, you know what, he won the ball but he climbed all over him. You can't do that, but I know he just wants to let his presence be felt.
Saracens beat Gloucester 44-19 in the first semi-final in the Gallagher Premiership Rugby Union playoffs, live on Talksport 2. So the champions will play either Exeter or Northampton in the final, and commentary on that second semi-final over on Talksport 2 now. Now Wilmot has a free kick. You will witness it right-footed towards the far post. It's flicked on by O'Brien, gathered by Labadie now on this near side, the left, and he's patrolled by Caprice, and boos for Labadie from the Tranmere fans. And Labadie now will try and squeeze away from Caprice, and he's delivered across into the penalty area, but it's Banks who rises to clear, and now Sheehan will try and go beyond Perkins down the Newport right. And as we head towards half-time, it's the Welsh club who are causing most of the problems, but not with a cross like that from Regan Paul, which is high over the top, and just when they were applying pressure, that will very quickly release it for Tranmere Rovers.
Again, great little bit of skill there from Labadie, just to get the ball in, kept it alive. Regan Paul, you know, that's when you just beat the first man. He's just tried too much, and it's a terrible cross in the end, but again, good play from Newport, winning second balls and using the ball well.
And we can see on our monitor, Mike Dean is here. I think it is the real Mike Dean and not one of the 30 Tranmere fans who travelled down on their coach all wearing Mike Dean face masks today. But he is a genuine Tranmere fan, as we saw at the end of the semi-final win against Forest Green. And there's more rugby action coming up on Talksport later on this evening, following our EFL special at 7 o'clock. It is a repeat of the Super League Grand Final from last season, Wigan against Warrington, part of the Magic Weekend at Anfield. Full commentary coming up with Mark Wilson and the team at 7 o'clock, and all three games from the Magic Weekend tomorrow will be live on Talksport 2 from 1 p.m. Free kick for Newport, 15 yards inside their own half, and Joe Day will take it, their penalty saving hero from the semi-final, and he's made the most significant save in the game so far. Left-footed, wide towards this near side. Matt will leap, but Nelson does well to beat him this time, and now Morris heads it further clear. Bennett again tangling with Jay Harris, and it's played forward by Dimitri. Appeals for handball as it's blocked by Harris, and Banks wins it back and plays it down the line looking for Norwood, and Dimitri just steps in, and it's good defending. And not for the first time, Norwood turns around to his midfield and says the service has to be better than that, or worse to that effect.
No, you're spot on. You know, I think he puts the demands on the players. Great defending there from Dimitri as well. Just felt it, the little fade, turns around and gives it back to Day. But Norwood, you can look at him now, you can see his body language is frustrated. He knows that he's got to keep switched on. That chance will come no matter how much he's in the match, but he wants to see the ball. He wants good quality come up to him. The players at the minute in the middle of the park, they've got better quality than what they're showing.
4 minutes to play in the first half. Newport have given it away. Here is Perkins coming forward now for Tranmere. Connor Jennings to his left, but he goes to the right, and Jay Harris. Norwood waits inside the penalty area. It's Norwood's header which is over the top, and Norwood, even before the cross arrived, was having a right go at David Perkins for not giving him the early ball, and then he turns around to give him another volley of abuse as the header floats over the crossbar.
Well, I have to say I'm in agreement. You know, I think Perkins had an opportunity just to slide him in, and you know what, if the weight of the pass is right, then he's going in on Joe's goal, a one-on-one. But again, it was in his head straight away. He's had his header, he's thinking about it, he's angry. It's a great ball in, he's attacked it well. He's got to do better in the air, better than what he did.
And an angry James Norwood can often be a dangerous James Norwood for the opposition, but at the moment he's giving more of a telling off to his own teammates as Morris gives the ball away and then fouls Labadie, and it will be a free kick for Newport.
Well, he's conned the ref there, Labadie. You know, I think he's a great guy and all that, but for me there was no contact there. We'll see it on the monitor, and you know what, you've got to manage the game as well. You've got to try the little cheeky one. He got away with that.
Just under 3 minutes plus added time to play in what's been a very tight first half. 0-0 Wilmot's free kick again will be headed away by Jennings at the near post for Tranmere. Now Morris on this near side. Good ball down the line on the right, looking for the run of Harris. The early ball forward this time doesn't pick out Norwood. Nodded away by Butler. And I do wonder if Tranmere need more support alongside James Norwood. They do have Paul Mullin on the bench the longer the game goes on. Now Labadie on this near side. Well, he loses out to Caprice. And Labadie is penalised, and the Tranmere fans around us celebrate as if they've scored a goal, because I think they believe they're getting the raw end of a few decisions down at this end.
Yeah, I think Caprice there, good defending, follow Labadie all the way. Got the body in front, done well. I've got to say on the early one there, Harris, if in doubt, just put it into the corner with a little bit of quality, because Norwood's shown that he will chase everything as well, and he's got every right to ask that. But you're right, I think he does need a little bit more support up top.
Heading towards the final 90 seconds of the first half. Players from both sides on the bench beginning to warm up in front of us. Free kick from Davis is then gathered by Labadie. It was a poor touch by Nelson as he won the ball back for Tranmere, and he caught Labadie high, and it will be another free kick for Newport just inside the Tranmere half. And Mike Flynn has been in the ear of Eddie Ilderton for about the last 10 minutes. He's not happy with a number of challenges coming in on his players inside Tranmere territory.
No, well, I think he has got an argument. I think Demetrio, the earlier one shown the studs, could have definitely seen a card. I think it was Butler, but I think the referee's dealing with it very well at the minute.
Sheehan over the free kick for Newport, right footed, high to the far post, looking for O'Brien, who wins the header, but it's nodded clear again by Tranmere on the edge of the penalty area. Now Labadie with an opportunity to turn. He stumbles, and then the cross is blocked by Banks, and Tranmere will get a free kick on the edge of the penalty area for Sheehan's challenge on Harris. And it's all getting rather scrappy as we head towards half-time.
Yeah, but you say scrappy, but in my opinion, Newport are showing more desire. They're challenging for everything. Balls that they're probably going in at 60-40, 70-30 against, and they're still creating. So for me, it's exactly what Mickey Flynn's asking of his team. They've got out there and probably dominated this first half with a little bit with the ball, I'd say. But I'd say Tranmere have had the better chances.
And I think Tranmere will be happy to get to half-time at 0-0 to try and regroup and have a few words. As the ball spins away off James Norwood on the far side, and it will be a throw-in to Newport, although Norwood has one or two choice words for the assistant. There'll be a single added minute at the end of the first half here. I'm sure that water break was longer than 1 minute.
I think it's hot out there.
Demetrio with a long throw, this time from a defensive area, looks to find Amon, but Perkins again with a good challenge, and at the age of 36 he's been full of energy so far for Tranmere. Now Connor Jennings lays it wide to the left, looking for the run of Rydal. She's challenged by Paul, but the ball spins away off Sheehan, and it will be a throw-in for Tranmere as we close in on half-time. Now Rydal down the left, scoops it in towards Norwood on the edge of the penalty area. He clips it back in field, and now Caprice has space and time to think about the delivery. Morris comes wide to this near side, the right, and it's infield towards Ollie Banks. Banks leaves it for Morris. Norwood waits on the edge of the penalty area, says don't give it me now, so instead Morris goes to find Perkins. Perkins was looking for Rydal's, just the overlap, but that is half-time, and it's been a typical playoff final so far, full of nerves, full of tension, one or two tasty challenges. James Norwood with the best opportunity for Tranmere. His shot was beaten away by Joe Day, but it's Newport County who have played the more constructive football on the whole, but so far Scott Davis yet to make a really important save. At half-time it is Newport County 0, Tranmere Rovers 0, and already, Mark, it has the look of a very long day. Thank you, Mark. Well, from Tranmere's point of view, they're in a better position than they were in their two previous playoff finals here. At half-time, they were 3-1 down to Forest Green Rovers, and last year they were drawing, but they were also a player short and had used all of their subs, so they will hope to use that as a positive. And Newport County will be just looking to build on what they've achieved in this game so far, because what threat we've seen from Tranmere in general play has been nullified, but that lack of cutting edge which we saw during the playoffs has really been replicated here at Wembley when it really matters. 10 attempts during the first half, only one of those on target. And it's Tranmere who will get the second half underway in their white shirts with blue trim, blue shorts and white socks, attacking towards their supporters at the east end of the stadium to our left. Newport in their amber and black as Norwood looks to burst down the left-hand side in the opening seconds. He's quickly challenged by Harris, and then the ball back in field is deflected away off Ladderby, and Tranmere have their first corner.
Well, I have to say it's probably an easy conversation for Mickey Mellons to have when he goes in. That you've got 15 minutes. I want to see a higher standard. Straight away the ball goes up to Norwood. He keeps it alive as he has done most of the first 45. Perkins is there breaking on, and he never done that in the first half. Not one opportunity that I see one player bust on. I think Connor Jennings actually took the point because Norwood had dropped so deep.
Banks with the corner, high to the far post, and it's gone beyond everybody. It was Kieran Morris who was waiting, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. So a reminder of the two sides once again. Newport County, Day in goal, Paul, O'Brien, Demetriou and Butler the back four, Bennett, Sheehan and Labadie in midfield, with Amond, Matt and Wilmot leading their attack. Tranmere, Davis in goal, Caprice, Nelson, Monthe and Rideausch the back four. Banks is the deepest line midfielder, with Morris, Harris, Perkins and Jennings ahead of him, and Norwood leading their attack. And it's Newport also heading towards their supporters, all decked out in amber and black, away to our right with a long ball forward. Matt is given time to chest the ball down and turn and play it to his right hand side, and Butler will try and go beyond Caprice. It's been a really good battle between those two so far. Butler does deliver the cross into the area, fisted away by Davis at the near post under no real pressure, and then Caprice is challenged by Bennett, and Tranmere either get the free kick or the throw-in on the far side.
Well, I have to say the quality from Butler's been excellent. Every opportunity he gets, he puts it in with fantastic quality. I think there Jamal Matt is marked very tightly to Mont, but I'm thinking his hands are all over him. Does he stop it? He goes, and I think the run's perfectly timed as well. The height of the ball was perfect, and all of a sudden he just stops. So I don't know if it was just good defending. He got his body in front, Monta, but fantastic ball in, and that's been consistent.
Matt has 20 goals so far this season, and Amond has 23, and it's Labadie coming forward now on the far side, the Newport left, as the shadows begin to creep across Wembley. Butler, he'll have to go beyond Caprice once again. He's played it back in field towards Labadie, and Connor Jennings will come back to win it back, and he's also won the free kick as well. And Labadie showing one or two signs of frustration, and that's why the referee Ross Joyce is just coming across to him, and the arms are basically waved away towards Labadie to say cut it out.
Well, I've got to say, I think confident as Labadie is there. It was a good first touch that he tried to take it round Connor Jennings with that one touch, which is a little bit as you do when you're feeling good about yourself. But again, Connor Jennings got his body in front, offensive player, got defensive responsibilities in doing exactly that.
Now Perkins, midway inside the Newport half for Tranmere. Banks tries to play it back in field, and he's lost it, and there is space here for Wilmot to bring the ball forward for Newport, right down the centre. He's got support to his left hand side, and the shot will come in, and it was Sheehan with the eventual effort coming in field onto his right foot. It was blocked by Monthe, and it spins away to the far side for a Newport throw-in, and their fans know what's coming as Mickey Demetriou comes forward.
Well, again, Wilmot gets the ball in good area, a lot of space to drive, and it's Sheehan. We're going again.
And they played it short this time, and it's Demetriou with the cross into the penalty area. It travels a long way, half-hearted appeals for handball, mainly from the crowd. Harris will try and win it back, but Newport have it again. Wilmot with a high ball wide towards the far post. It's controlled by Sheehan. He's got support from Butler. The first time cross into the area, met at the near post by Nelson for Tranmere, and they will try and break. Morris with a good ball wide to this near side, the left. Connor Jennings will try and seize on it now, and Tranmere have options left and right. To the left it's Rideausch coming forward infield towards Norwood, who turns and plays it back towards Rideausch again. A burst into the penalty area, and the flag is up for offside against the Tranmere left back.
Well, I'm going to have a look at that one, because that must have been very tight. Great play again. Norwood does what he does, and the way to pass is excellent. But Rideausch, great movement, give and go. I tell you what, it's going to be so tight. He's on for me. I'm looking at the monitor now. He's onside for me. It's a big call there from the linesman. but again, it just shows you they kind of weather the storm, they absorb it all, and then they've got the pace and the quality to get back to front with great pace.
And there's movement on the Tranmere bench already, and it's Ben Pringle, who looks like he's coming on, a wide player, on loan from Preston. And he's been in and out of the side since arriving in January, but he does have quality in the wide areas and will maybe give Tranmere something further up the field. And maybe it's time to sacrifice possibly Harris to accommodate him as Jennings plays it forward to this near side, and Harris this time is onside. Regan Paul comes in with a challenge, something happening some way off the ball on the far side between Norwood and the captain of Newport, O'Brien. And while they were having their coming together, the ball spun behind for a corner to Tranmere, and it's played short, quickly towards Banks on the left side of the penalty area, but neither side were really set for that. So as a result, Banks goes back towards Perkins. Rideouch back towards Perkins again, and here is Rideouch down the left-hand side. Delivers the early ball into the penalty area, and it bounces awkwardly in front of Dimitriou, but he does well to chest the ball down, and his long ball forward will seek out Porrigamondu, breaks into the penalty area. Monthe will try and make sure he goes no further. Wow, outstanding defending there from Manny Monthe. Amond was looking to bear down on goal, and Monthe just picked it off him, but then Tranmere almost give it back to Matt on the edge of the penalty area, and that's a brilliant challenge by Nelson, because Matt was heading forward to goal there following the error, and Nelson probably with a goal-saving challenge.
Well, I've got to say that's two bits of just excellent defending. Monthe, Amon finds himself in the box, and I'm thinking, why is he going out? Why is he going out the box? Monthe just brushes him out at the side. It's Nelson there on Matt. It's a great challenge, and he left one on the big man as well. Fantastic defensive challenge, that is.
Well, Matt is still down inside the penalty area. Tranmere are looking to make their first change, and they may wait here because they're defending, because Dimitriou is going to take the long throw in, but no, Tranmere will make the change. Here's the Moose.
Yeah, James Harris coming off, and Ben Pringle, who was a winner here with Rotherham when they played Leyton Orient a few years ago in the League One playoff final, game that Steve Evans' side were 2-0 down in, I remember at the time, and in the end lost on penalties. Ben Pringle on loan, as you say, earlier in the season at Grimsby, now at Tranmere, he comes on.
And it's an attacking change made by Mickey Mellon.
Yeah, again, I think you know what you're going to get from Norwood in the middle of. He needs a service. You know, I think Harris has had opportunity, never found them too much. He had opportunities to drive with the ball as well, something he's very strong at. Again, never took the opportunity. So yeah, a change is needed, and that's that conversation that Mickey Mellons has at half-time. You know, he puts it to the players, and obviously he's not seen an improvement.
Could be a switch to a 4-2-3-1 with Banks accompanied by Perkins as the defensive midfielders, with Morris on one side, Perkins on the other, and Jennings as the number 10 behind Norwood. Dimitriou though with a long throw for Newport, high into the penalty area. Monthe again rising to clear. Wilmot with the volley, snatched at it right-footed wide of the near post.
I've got to say Wilmot was disappointed there. Seen that all the way, made good contact with it. At least asked the question of Davies there. He made great connection, just swung at it, and then.
And now Norwood plays it wide towards Pringle down the right-hand side. The crossing though is blocked, and now he will have to come back and try and win it back. That was straight from the goal kick from Davis. Picked out Norwood, and Tranmere as a result almost had an attacking situation. Now Monthe and Matt both having hold of each other, and in the end, and I think correctly, the referee has given the free kick to Newport for Monthe with basically an arm lock on Jamil Matt.
Well, I thought it was a free kick from the get-go there. I think Ross Joyce just allowed it to carry on a little bit, but I think Monthe got himself back on top, and it was a foul all day long. But again, good battle between the two from the first whistle.
And the Newport crowd find their voices once again. 53 minutes played on Talksport, the home of the EFL playoffs. 0-0 at the moment in the League 2 playoff final. And Ross Joyce is just having to try and keep a lid on some simmering tempers here as Butler prepares to take the free kick. Butler does whip it in, left-footed, high to the far post. Davis will claim unchallenged, and that really is very unlike Newport County, but he bowls it out and he's given the ball away, and Davis there is claiming that the ball was knocked out of his hand by Jamil Matt, and Jamil Matt is shown the yellow card.
Well, I think the referee's got that one wrong there. I've got to look at this on the monitor, because I think Davies just tried to give the quick one, and Jamil Matt doesn't know nothing about it whatsoever. So I'll have a look at the monitor, and great to goalkeeping. You want him to come out and command the area, but is it Yeah, you know
he's
what?
done nothing wrong, has he?
Done nothing wrong. I think Jamil Matt has got every opportunity, a chance to try and stop it. He's got a yellow card for that as well, hasn't he?
That was the wrong decision. I don't think Ross Joyce had the best view of it, but as Davis looked to bowl it out quickly, Matt just jabbed his foot in and quite fairly knocked the ball away. But he's on a yellow card, and he'll have to manage that now for the remaining 35 minutes or so as Tranmere look to come forward on the far side. They've won a throw-in here on Talksport. Goalless at the moment in the League 2 playoff final. They have a free kick now, and it's Labadie with a heavy challenge, a clumsy challenge to knock over Connor Jennings, and it's a free kick for Tranmere midway inside the Newport half, wide on the right-hand side, and Ben Pringle has gone across to take it.
Well, again, Pringle, he's been brought on for exactly this. He's got great quality. He's just got to execute it. I think one thing as well, it's been good. You know, I think in the first half, Caprice has been putting great balls in, Norwood on the move. But again, they just needed that extra little bit in that final third.
Every single Newport player is back. Every outfield player is inside the Newport half here on a muggy day at Wembley for the League 2 playoff final on Talksport. Pringle will take it with the red hair. Whips it high towards the far post, and it's tipped over the top by Joe Day. I think it was overhit in the end, but Day, unable to take any chances, sends it behind for another Tranmere corner.
Yeah, that's not a shot there. That's just a cross to the kind of the back area there. But again, Day had to do something that was too close to call. But again, he's got better quality than that Pringle has. But he asked the question, I guess.
And now the Tranmere fans all on their feet as Pringle prepares to take the corner. An outswinger, left-footed in towards the near post, and it's cleared away as far as Ridehouse, who quickly wins it back. Wide towards Pringle again. Ridehouse on the overlap, and Ridehouse is around the back, delivers the cross high into the penalty area, nodded towards goal, and in the end it was a comfortable save for Day. It was Nelson who came in with a header, always going away from goal, so as a result it floated gently into the arms of the Newport goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's a difficult one there for Nelson. I think great ball in, but just keep it alive. Just nod it down to someone in that area when you're going back.
Now at the other end, Wilmot with the cross into the area, and it's Nelson with a defensive header, and he was fouled by Amond as he knocked the ball away. It's gone behind, but it's not a corner. It's a free kick to Tranmere, and they, I think, have been the better side since half-time.
Started very well. You know, I think first couple of minutes, Newport just started where they left off, but Tranmere have grew into it, using the ball well. I think again, you look at the pairing in Nelson and Monthly as well. They've been outstanding. You've seen some great challenges. Again, good awareness as well. They communicate well. Again, Nelson there in the offensive box and defensive box doing his job.
Norwood looks to win it on the far side, but it's Banks who takes over for Tranmere. Back towards Norwood, who's had a couple of opportunities to add to his 32 goals so far this season. Now Perkins finding Harris again, and Perkins will look to continue, but Perkins is helped out on the far side, but now it's given away by Tranmere. But the free kick has been given for the challenge by Sheehan on Morris, and the Tranmere crowd may be just sensing that things are turning their team's way here. We played 58 minutes, it's 0-0, but at the moment they've been the better side. Quickly taken free kick, the cross into the penalty area though was blocked. It was a dash into the area on the far side from Morris, but it was good defending from Newport to cut out the cross at source.
Yeah, fantastic defending there, but don't switch off. You know, again, walking away from a dead ball and allowing Tranmere to take a quick one like that. But I guess Mickey Flynn's got a job to do now. He's got to keep his players. You can see now they're getting a little bit frustrated as well. A few decisions going against them. This is part and parcel of it. They have to kind of manage the game.
Now Butler with a low ball in from the far side. It's cleared away as far as Labadie with a shot, and it bobbles wide. And Josh Labadie knows that was a really good opportunity. It was a hurried clearance on the edge of the penalty area from Nelson, and Labadie with a clear sight of goal failed to hit the target.
Yeah, he knows it. You know, I think he's got both feet for me. You know, I've seen him training every day again at Notts County. He's got that. He'll be disappointed that he's coming on to it, sees it. The ball's probably bouncing a little bit, but even better, just make good connection. But ask the question of Davies' goal.
Fantastic atmosphere inside the stadium at the moment, as both sets of fans know it's such a key part in the game, and Tranmere have now got a free kick in a very dangerous area, a couple of yards outside the box. It's a challenge by Mark O'Brien on Connor Jennings. It is right of centre. And Tranmere do have the technicians here to maybe do Newport some damage.
Well, I'm looking at that as well. I'm not seeing much wrong in the challenge. I was looking at the linesman right in line with it there. Never gave anything, but Ross Joyce has found something wrong with that one. I think it was a fair ball to go up and challenge. Not much in it for me.
Liam Rydausch, who was sent off here last year, is the man who is shaping to take this free kick. What a story this would be. They have another option on the far side as well, Pringle. But Rydausch looks to be the favourite, or he could play it square towards Ollie Banks. Joe Day has made one outstanding save so far. But it's Rydausch who curls at the wall, does its job, appeals for handball mainly again from the crowd. And Tranmere will try and build with the second ball, all the way back towards the halfway line. And Nelson, who clips it wide to the right-hand side, and it's overhit. And Newport, again, have dealt with that.
Yeah, you're right, Al struck it well, but the wall does exactly that, stays strong. No jumping there as well, fantastic. That's what it's there to do. But again, lively to the second balls. Perkins kept it down, kept it alive, and that's better. We've never seen a lot of that from Tranmere in the first half, being aware and getting on those second balls like they did.
You're listening to Newport County versus Tranmere Rovers in the League 2 playoff final on Talksport, with McDonald's Fun Football providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Here is Wilmot for Newport on this near side. Back towards Regan Poole, a high ball towards the far post once again, and Caprice actually heads it back in field. It's kneed up in the air by Monthe, and it's back in field towards Amond. Amond is onside, he can't get the shot in. Now the shot is fired in by Matt, and it's blocked brilliantly on the edge of the penalty area by Rydausch. But here is Regan Poole for Newport again. The cross is clipped in, and it will drift all the way across towards the left-hand side. Butler in first time, looking for Ladderby, and it's Banks who comes in to make the challenge, and Tranmere will clear. And now Tranmere will break, and it's played forward towards Norwood, who is onside. Two Tranmere players actually collided there. Norwood all on his own down the right-hand side. He will try and take on Bennett, holds the ball up and now finds support from Caprice. Tranmere only have one player inside the area, and Caprice is halted by an excellent challenge from Sheehan, and it's a Tranmere throw-in midway inside the Newport half on the far side. 62 minutes played on Talksport, and it's still 0-0.
Got to say, end to end, fantastic there. Liam Rydausch, what a great block that is. The ball's bounce around in the Tranmere box there, and it falls to Jamal Matt. The open goal, strikes it well, and he throws his body when it hurts Rydausch there. But again, shows the quality they've got. They're wearing it, they absorb it, and then they can just burst forward with great quality. And Norwood's put through. He's isolated, he's on his own, but he keeps possession of the ball. That's all you can ask of him.
Now Connor Jennings down the right-hand side. Early cross in beyond Dimitriou, but it's volleyed clear by Mark O'Brien. But Tranmere have a throw-in on the far side, level with the edge of the Newport penalty area. It's a good spell for them in the second half. Caprice down the right-hand side, tries to deliver the cross, but again it is blocked, and Newport have been very durable defensively. The long balls up towards Norwood have not really worked for Tranmere because it comes straight back, so they're trying a different approach. Here is Jennings from the throw-in into the path of Caprice. Caprice lost it into the area. Jennings brings it down. Can he pull it back? The ball had gone behind before he delivered the cross and found Norwood, and it's a goal kick to Newport. 63 minutes played. Newport County 0, Tranmere Rovers 0.
Again, good movement from Jennings. I'd say good awareness as well, but I think there you can just help it on. You know, there was enough pace in the ball that he could just take it across. He took a big touch in his chest there. But again, Tranmere are using the ball a lot better. Growing into the match, Newport have dropped a little bit on the back foot. Again, that's up to Mickey Flynn to get them going again, but they are using the ball well, even in that defensive area.
We have an EFL playoff special coming up with Jason Cundy and David Connolly at the end of this game. As Tranmere looked to break there, but Monthe had gone down, and the referee sensibly stopping play. And Monthe here looks to be flat out, and there will be some treatment required, and the Tranmere medical team make their way on. We're watching the replay here. It was Monthe and Matt, and it was a flailing arm from Matt, but I don't think it was a vindictive arm.
No, I totally agree. I think it's one of them. He goes, he's trying to obviously win that aerial ball. It's been a great battle. There's no intention in that there. You need your arms to kind of get that height but Monfils definitely taking one to the right side of the head.
And that's the cue for players from both sides to come across and take some water. So we'll head down to the touchline and the Moose.
Yeah, the heat hasn't relented down here. I have to say that the sun may well be dipping away to my right hand side, but the heat at the moment is still fairly fierce, so no wonder they're taking on water. Just before that, Michael Flynn, the Newport manager, asked Thais Jamal Adeshina Oliveira Baconson to warm up. He's a midfielder, so I expect when he comes on, Nige, you to give him his full 5 names in his title.
All the best. It's a throw-in, or either a drop ball on the far side, which I think Matt will give the ball back towards Tranmere. The game's been played in, considering what's at stake, it's been a pretty good spirit so far. There have been 1 or 2 challenges, but you've not had players trying to con the referee all the time, which you often see in games like this.
No, I think it's to be expected. It's going to get fiery at points. I think you've got to give a lot of credit to Ross Joyce as well. I think yellow card could have come out a few times in the first half. He chose not to, just have a good word, and it's been a good tempo match.
Pringle loses out midway inside the Newport half, but Ladderby is able to clear. But it's noticeable that Newport are dropping a bit deeper in the midfield area, and Amond and Matt are looking as isolated as Norwood did during the opening 45 minutes here. Tranmere are winning the midfield battle. They're also winning plenty of free kicks as O'Brien pushes over Jennings, and it's another free kick for Tranmere in opposition territory, and the yellow card is also going to be shown towards the Newport captain Mark O'Brien.
Yeah, I think it was it's just the referee. I said that he's used it well, and I think he has marshalled the game very well. You're saying about Amond and Matt being a little bit isolated, and I think that's just down to the quality of Tranmere. They're using the ball better. It's forcing Newport back. When they're winning the second ball, Tranmere again are pressing very well and not allowing them to play the way they did.
Free kick again is too deep for Tranmere into the penalty area from Banks, but it's gathered by Pringle on this near side the left. Now Rydausch with a high hanging cross into the area, nodded back into the 6-yard box by Norwood, but it was behind Monthe, and volley clear, and Caprice gathers it superbly in stride and looks to sprint down the Tranmere right, but Butler was alert to the danger, comes across and just boots it out of play, and it will be a throw into Tranmere. 66 minutes played on Talksport, the home of the EFL playoffs. This, the first of 3 this weekend, and it's 0-0 in the League 2 final. Now Caprice, wide on the far side, looking to trick his way beyond Amond. He's delivered a really good cross, which Dimitri has to head away. It's controlled by Jennings on the edge of the penalty, poked through towards Morris, who goes down inside the area, appeals for a penalty mainly from the Tranmere crowd, it must be said, and the referee not interested.
I've got to say, referee's got that one spot on. I think it was a physical challenge. The ball was there to be won. Defensively, he done his job. But Tranmere definitely getting into the groove now, using the ball on the floor as well. I've got to say, when they do put the ball in, it's one of those high, slow crosses. Can they put more whip into it, a little bit more pace? So then it makes the mind up a Norwood or
Now Monthe goes all the way back towards Scott Davis, defending the Tranmere goal away to our right-hand side. Don't forget, Wigan against Warrington, a repeat of the Super League final, coming up from the Magic Weekend at Anfield at 7 o'clock this evening on Talksport, following Jason Cundy and David Connolly, looking at the playoff weekend, this game and the 2 big games coming up. Live on Talksport tomorrow, it is going to be Charlton against Sunderland, followed by Villa against Derby on Monday. Now Pringle plays it into the path of Jennings. Norwood with a shot. It breaks to Jennings inside the area, but he can't turn and get the shot in. And Dan Butler there probably kept Newport County on level terms.
Well, I've got to see great play. Ben Pringle puts it into Conor Jennings. He actually lays it into the path of Norwood for a first-time shot. Deflected good defence, but Conor Jennings takes it well, takes it in his stride. But fantastic defending, gets in front. And I get a little bit lucky at the end there. I think it was Dimitri as well, a little bit lucky, but he was in the right place, right time.
Now Day clears downfield for Newport County. It's flicked on by Matt. Here is Amon down the left-hand side, but the flag is up, and he is offside, and it's been a fair time since we've seen any real sustained pressure on the Tranmere goal.
No, exactly that, and again it just shows you to the quality of Tranmere on their front foot. The ball goes up to Amond and he's always playing on the shoulders, and he is just off there as well. But Tranmere have definitely taken the levels up a bit, and Newport at the minute are struggling to contain them.
Well, Lenny Lawrence, a vastly experienced member of Mike Flynn's backroom team is currently having words with one or two of the subs, and they're about to make a change or two as well. Michael Jackson alongside Mickey Mellon on the edge of the Tranmere technical area. Maybe they can sense their moment may not be too far away. Here is Caprice, infield towards Norwood again, but it's a good challenge from Butler. Sheehan forward towards the halfway line. Now Matt coming forward for Newport, lays it square to Wilmot. The space here, Amonda's drifted away from Monte inside the penalty area. Wilmot goes for goal though, and it's blocked superbly by Rydalsh once again, and Rydalsh just shepherds it out of play before Paul can get a cross in and Newport have a throw in.
Again, it was the wrong decision for me. I think Wilmot, he wants to get his shot away. I think he can just play Poole down, because it's great pace from Poole. He's supporting well. Rydalsh has done what he's done from the start, just great defending, stopping the cross coming in from that first point, and defending very, very well.
Mickey Dolan is preparing to come on for Newport. Dimitriou with the long throw, high into the penalty area, allowed to go towards the far post. Ladderby will try and get the shot in, but it's a brave challenge from Morris to deny him, and now the early ball forward, and Connor Jennings will chase, and there's a foot race between Jennings and Paul in the end is helped out by Butler, and I think that Paul collided with his teammate Butler there, who goes down, and there will be shortly more movement on the Newport bench. In fact, that's going to happen now, so let's head down to the Moose.
Yeah, Matty Dolan, remember he came on and scored against his former teammates at Middlesbrough in the FA Cup, the 1-1 draw that Newport managed up at the Riverside before they beat him in the FA Cup in a replay at Rodney Parade. He's going to come on, and Josh Ladderby will be the man he replaces.
Cheers, Moose. As Tranmere look to come forward again, but there's no real quality in the ball forward from Jennings. Pringle will try and win it back, and he used his hand there to control it as Wilmot made the challenge, but on the blind side of the referee, and Tranmere have a throw-in on this near side. But before it's taken, confirmation of that change Ian told us about, and Matt Dolan also came on and scored the winning penalty at Mansfield in the shootout, and he came on for Josh Labadie in that game, and that will happen again here. And it's good management again by Mike Flynn, who applauds Labadie because he's carrying that yellow card, and you've just got to be careful.
Well, I think that's probably the reason why he's coming off. You know, the game is so important. I think Labadie brings great energy. He's been good quality. A little bit quiet second half, maybe because of the yellow card. But Matty Dolan comes on. You know what? He brings goals. You know, he brings that quality. He can get in the ball. He can create. You can see that pass. He can execute it. So no, it's a good change.
And Tranmere have given the ball away on this near side, and it will be a throw-in for Newport, and we have only 18 minutes of normal time to play here at Wembley on Talksport. If it stays like this, 0-0, we will be heading to 30 minutes of extra time and possibly a penalty shootout, as Wilmot plays a high ball from right to left towards the far side for Newport. It's brought down well by Butler. Morris comes back to defend, but Butler with the early ball, and it travels a long way. Now with a header, and it's turned onto the post by Davis, and Newport inches away from the goal which could have sent them into League One. Scott Davis with a brilliant save.
Oh, I've got to say the ball-in was excellent. Jamal Maher on his front foot, beats his man, connects with it perfectly. What a save that is from Scott Davis. Puts it onto the post, never knew a lot about it, but great strong hand to do so.
But that was poor defending from Tranmere. They allowed that ball to travel a long way. Here is Sheehan on the far side looking to repeat the dose here, but Caprice makes the challenge, and Newport will look to feed off that and try and create some momentum as we head towards the final 15 minutes.
Again, it's just that little bit weather the storm, good quality in. I think it's a great ball in, fantastic ball in. You can't get close enough to stop that cross, because he's just got the yard. Quick ball in, beats the first man, and Jamal Matt will be so disappointed because he's done everything right. What a save.
And the long throw is flicked on. There's a miss kick by Pringle inside the area before Monte volleys it clear, but it's controlled by Dimitriou. Across him from the left-hand side, Rydalsh rises, but Matt heads it wide to this near side. Hooked back into the penalty area by Wilmot. Nodded back into the box by Dolan. Tranmere have two players going for the same ball, and it's volleyed wide inside the area by Jamil Matt again. And again, Newport creating panic with those high balls into the area, but they can't get the telling touch to send them back into League One.
Yeah, it was just a high ball, not great quality on the ball, and I just think Tranmere can do a lot more just to defend their area there. You know, go throw yourself at it and make sure you meet the ball at its highest point there. Again, Jamil Matt shows a great athleticism there, a little bicycle kick, not on target though.
And looking back on that save, Davis one hand onto the post, and then as he was falling he used his other hand to knock the ball away.
So, I mean, it's just fantastic goalkeeping as well, just to be aware and have that, just the sharpness to see that happening in that split second.
And this game really has encapsulated the playoffs. Teams have had spells on top, not scored, and almost paid the penalty, but as a result, with 15 minutes to play on Talksport, it is still Newport County 0, Tranmere Rovers 0. Newport look like they're heading for extra time for the second successive playoff game unless either side can find a goal, and I always thought it would be 1-0 either way, and now that's the way it is looking.
Yeah, like I think everyone has said, that first goal is so important. What a time to get it now. You know, I think the goalkeepers have a massive job. Both teams are looking dangerous. You know, when they get into the final third, they're both creating.
And Tranmere have a free kick on this near side, challenged by Matt on Rydalsh, and there's an opportunity just maybe to slow things down. And Scott Davis, who made that save, will take it. Don't forget the Europa League final coming up on Talksport on Wednesday with Sags, Jim Proudfoot and Matt Holland, and then next Saturday, big team in Madrid headed by Sags for the Champions League final, Liverpool against Tottenham, and before that England's final warm-up game before the Women's World Cup. They play New Zealand in Brighton following their 2-0 win over Denmark today, and commentary on all of England and Scotland's games coming up at the Women's World Cup on Talksport. Heading into the area now for Tranmere by Perkins, but nodded almost back to him by O'Brien, and then Perkins pushes over his man Dolan in the midfield area, and it will be a free kick for Newport, and they seem to be getting into the ascendancy once again, and Perkins, another player who should know better, is booked for dissent.
Yeah, so the one there from Perkins. You know, I think he's got no chance of getting the ball. It's just a sloppy foul when as I say, the Tranmere are in a good position on the pitch as well, allowing Newport to get out.
And the crowd, 25,217, and attendances in the EFL have reached a 60-year high this season, almost 18.5 million people, which is an outstanding effort up and down the leagues. And there were 50,000 here last year, but Coventry, of course a big club historically with a big following, contributed to that, as Butler does well to ride a challenge on the far side, but Nelson slides in for Tranmere, and it's a throw into Newport on the far side, the left, and Demetriou, the player who will take it. And will a set piece ultimately win this game for Newport? They've been a set piece team in the closing weeks of the season. They've not been too expansive, but they got the job done. Demetriou, long once again, it's flicked on by Jennings, and in the end Jennings was fouled inside the area, and it's a free kick for Tranmere, and Mickey Mellon looking to his bench once again.
Again, I'm looking at that one there, I don't see much in that as well, but again, he's positioned very well. Foul on Connor Jennings. Again, it's one of their strengths. You know, they've got such area ability, they don't need to make silly fouls like that in that final third.
And Steve McNulty is coming on for Tranmere. He's only played one game since the end of January due to injury. He is the club captain. As Pringle will try and chase on this near side, but it's volley cleared by Regan Paul. A long ball over the top, appeals for handball. In fact, it was offside as Matt gathered. Matt now has Dolan in support. Amond on the edge of the penalty area for Newport, fires it low, and it's gathered by Davis.
Again there, Jamal Matt, good strength. Obviously overpowers Sid Nelson as well, keeps it in, and it comes to Amond. One thing in mind, can he get his shot away? He's hit the right area, but had not enough power in the shot. And
Tranmere make a mess of it as they look to break. Pringle and Jennings both in each other's way, and here is Regan Paul charging forward now for Newport. Midway inside the Tranmere half, a high ball to the far post. Matt peels away, challenged by Caprice, appeals for handball, but again the referee waves away the appeals, and Caprice is able to gather in the right back area. Can either side create a clear-cut chance in the remaining 11 minutes here to win this game? 0-0 on Talksport. Caprice goes long, looking for Norwood, but once again he is outnumbered, but it's quickly won back on the far side, but a foul challenge, and Norwood can't believe that Jennings has been penalised for bumping into Butler, and it's a free kick for Newport midway inside their own half.
Well, again, I don't think there's much in that one. You know, I think Conor Jennings gets to the ball, but it's good contact. For me, there's no foul there. I think the ref should play on, but yes, his possession.
There's no doubt Caprice handled it there.
No,
both hands.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's when Matt's take it on his chest, Caprice is that close to him. It's not hand to ball. It's definitely ball to hand.
And there's going to be a change. The big man's coming on. Down to our big man.
Yeah, I don't know who's bigger actually, me or Steve McNulty. First knew Steve when he was at Luton, but he is coming on, and the man he's going to replace is Kieran Morris.
Cheers, Moose. Well, that could be a switch. 2-3 at the back for Tranmere. The longer this game goes on.
Well, they definitely have the offensive quality. It wouldn't surprise me. You know, I think they can see that they need to do something different. I've got to see Newport have kind of weathered that storm and grew into the match again. Some fantastic opportunities, but just not clinical enough. And that's something that Mickey Flynn, it's been consistent with the Newport all season.
Norwood now chasing into the area, and he's onside for Tranmere down the right, forced out of the area by Demetriou, but it's back now towards Caprice, who will look to go beyond Bennett. Delivers the cross into the penalty area. Banks at the far post will try and gather, but he can't do so, and the ball has gone behind, and it's a Tranmere corner here with 9 minutes to play. And here is the change that Ian preempted, and it's going to be McNulty coming on for Morris. Well, this could be seen as a gamble. One appearance since the end of January for Steve McNulty. He is the captain. Of course, he is a huge figure in more ways than one, and actually Scott Davis has come across and given him the captain's armband. Promoted 3 times from the National League with Fleetwood, Luton and Tranmere, and he will come on now, so it has to be 3 at the back with Nelson and Monthe staying on the field.
Yeah, I agree. You know, he comes on, he's a leader. You know, he goes out and leads by example. I think very tidy on the ball. I think mobility definitely going to be asked a few questions, but this is perfect. It's written it could be written here.
Pringle with the corner, high into the area, headed towards goal, and then knocked away by Matt. Rydell's on the edge of the penalty area, thought about the shot, in the end did nothing, and it's cleared away, but Pringle will win it back for Tranmere. Good tracking back there as Dolan looked to break over the halfway line, and it's all the way back towards Scott Davis, and both teams looking really, really tired here, with 8 minutes to play on Talksport, 0-0, and there could still be another 30 minutes to come.
I'm not surprised Rydell still had the opportunity to get a shot away, thought about it, probably had too much time to think, but with the quality he's got, just let one go with the left.
Now Banks, wide to the far side, the right for Tranmere. Caprice, Jennings takes over, he's got Demetriou to take on once again. It's pulled back to Pringle inside the penalty area now. What can he do? He checks back, Pringle fires the shot and it's blocked. Pringle gets back to his feet, the ball spins up in the air, it comes out to Jennings, who fires it in right-footed. No backlift, but no real effort on target either, as it floats harmlessly over the top.
Well, that's what I want to see from Ben Pringle. He's got that quality in the box as well. One thing in mind, can he open up, get his shot away? Conor Jennings, great first touch again, and it's just probably too high to take on the high half volley, but not a bad take, but try and get over the ball, and you'll ask a question a day.
And Lenny Lawrence out on the edge of the Newport technical area to have a word with Mike Flynn. And Michael Jackson, the assistant at Tranmere, does likewise with Mickey Mellon, and there is a real tension descending on this stadium now, because both sets of fans know what is at stake in the remaining 7 minutes here of normal time. One slip, one mistake, and 9 months of work could be straight down the river. Now McNulty wins it in the air, finds Monthe. His ball forward though, doesn't pick out Jennings. It's played forward by Regan Paul, and now Monthe comes out to this near side, the Tranmere left, and makes the challenge to keep out Amond, and it will be a throw-in for Newport, level with the edge of the Tranmere penalty area.
Again, great movement from Amond as well, keeps it alive, but as I say, Monthe's been absolutely outstanding, hasn't he? Follows his man, stops that cross. If challenge needed to be made, he does exactly that.
Demetriou will take yet another long throw for Newport here. And the longer the game has gone on, the more Tranmere have looked vulnerable underneath them. Demetriou this time, flat, high into the penalty area, flick towards the far post. There's a real confusion there as a body goes down, and is the penalty given? Well, the shot comes in, and it's hit the post. the referee given? He has given offside. He's given offside.
I'll tell you what's a penalty. It can't be offside because it's Jamal Matt that's taking the ball down and then taking it away from the player. I don't know what the ref's doing.
Well, the two managers are having a right go at each other, Mellon and Flynn.
So Jamal Matt's taking the ball down and he's taking Monty's just slung the foot in. It's a penalty kick, and of course, as I think it's Amon is offside, but it's a penalty kick before it even comes to him. You can't swing the foot in there. Is there contact? Is Jamal Matt look for that? If there's any contact at all, it's a penalty.
How much contact was there though?
It doesn't matter. If there's contact, it's a penalty.
Well, offside was given, and Tranmere there. Well, there were about 15,000 Wirral hearts and mouths because they looked to see if the penalty would be awarded. Then they looked to see if the ball were going off the post. Neither happened. Now Norwood for Tranmere, wide on the far side. Here is Caprice. Jennings down the line. Bennett looks to make the challenge. Jennings pulls it back. Here is Pringle inside the penalty area. Left-footed shot though. It's blocked by Demetriou. Headed away though. Banks will try and win it back, and it's cleared. And then the free kick is given for Newport County.
Again there, Demetriou had to make that challenge. Fantastic defensive shot, outstanding, but again, end to end, and it's exactly what you want. I have to say about that one, I think as Jamal Matt probably made too much of it. There has been contact, but the arms come up, it was very theatrical, and that's probably the only thing that goes against him in that situation.
But if he plays it and then goes down, are the players offside? Are they offside before the contact is made?
That's one of them. What phase is it? Because he's taking the touch, he's still in the phase that he's going to be in control of the ball. So when the challenge comes in, Amon's not even involved in that phase. As soon as Jamal Matt goes, then Amon becomes live to it. So what phase?
In the Scottish Cup final, by the way, Celtic are leading Hearts 2-1 late on there. Odsonne Edouard with 2 goals coming from behind after Hearts had taken the lead. Now Jennings has been penalised for a challenge on Demetriou, and we have 3.5 minutes to play. Eddie Ilderton, the fourth official, is talking to Mike Flynn once again, and both Flynn and Mellon, from the safety of their technical areas, were both having a real discussion about that decision, or non-decision.
I think it was one of them. If it was given, maybe sitting here thinking, well, there is contact, you can't really argue. It's not been given. I'm a little bit confused about it, but again, I think it's just the way that Jamal Matt probably looked for it a little bit more so. He didn't have to do that.
Well, there is goal line technology here, but of course no VAR, as Monthe plays a long ball forward, headed away by Demetriou. Pringle in there for Tranmere, then Banks with a heavy challenge on Dolan, and it's a free kick for Newport inside the Tranmere half. We'll be down to the Moose shortly for more on that non-penalty decision, but we'll see what Newport can do with this free kick shortly, because if they score now, then that surely is that. 3 minutes to play. 0-0 on Talksport, the League 2 playoff final. Charlton against Sunderland tomorrow, Villa against Derby on Monday, both live and exclusive to national radio here on Talksport. A high ball in from Wilmot, nodded away by McNulty towards the far side. Amond will gather back towards Butler with the ball in, and the header from Dolan is deflected, and Tranmere will try and dig the ball out. Perkins scurries clear to this near side. He's challenged by Wilmot. Perkins tries to knock it down the line. He's challenged by Wilmot. Tranmere have the throw in. Let's go down pitch side in the Moose.
Newport incensed manager Michael Flynn, still not letting it go with the fourth official. Mickey Mellon was actually laughing after that decision, Nigel. He actually turned away and laughed, so I think he knows that his team got away with one.
Well, it's going to be a throw-in on this near side. And of course, changes have been made so far by both sides, and they will have an additional change if we go into extra time. And on a day like today, they may be needed, as Monthe wrestles with Matt once again, but Newport have it back. Here is Amon looking to turn away from McNulty, but McNulty shows his experience, and he looks to get a free kick inside the area. Then Amon goes down. Newport appeal for a penalty. Nothing is given, and then a challenge on this near side by Norwood, and there could be trouble here for O'Brien. O'Brien has already been booked in the game, and that was a one-on-one challenge, and O'Brien is going off here. The Newport captain showed a second yellow card, and Newport are down to 10 men with 90 seconds of normal time to play. And for the third playoff game running, Tranmere Rovers will face 10 men.
Well, I've got to say, I think that the referee, Ross Joyce there, he's probably got it wrong, you know. There's definitely a decision to make about Amon. He's not made it. Then plays carried on, and it's O'Brien. You can't challenge that. You're on a yellow card.
It's a silly challenge.
It is a silly challenge, but the challenge wouldn't happen, Nige. If he's got to look at that one a lot more than what he did. For me, it's definitely a question mark over that.
Wow, drama right at the very end of normal time. Newport down to 10 men. It is the 8th red card in the playoffs so far this season. Now Ridehouse with a break into the penalty area for Tranmere, but the ball hits him rather than him controlling it, and Newport will try and clear. And we're heading towards 5 added minutes as Tranmere look to finish things off here with the extra man. Here is Caprice, early cross into the penalty area. Poor delivery though, not required in the circumstances as far as they are concerned, and it will drift out of play. And Eddie Ilderton tells us, or confirms, there will be 5 added minutes at the end of this game. And if you're Newport, what do?
Well, you have to just you come together, you're compact, you're hard to beat. You know what, they've shown that they've got that togetherness, but it's difficult, you know, the energy that they've put into this match already. Tranmere have got the quality they'll use that extra man. I've got to say, they never used the extra man well in that first leg against Forest Green. I thought they could have done a lot better, but it's at this moment in the match that will give Tranmere the lift that they need. 5 minutes to play, they've just got to get see that out as Newport, and then grind through the 30 minutes to follow.
Now Jennings is able to turn. It's Bennett who has dropped into the middle for Newport. Caprice with the cross into the penalty area. Regan Poole at the far side almost gives the ball away, but a back header will eventually find Wilmot, and he just booms it clear. Amond will chase, and do they sacrifice either Amond or Matt and bring on another defender? David Pipe is the obvious option, vastly experienced of course, and he's retiring at the end of this game. What a finish that could be. Andrew Crofts is another experienced player that could bring on. It's played forward towards Norwood. Norwood shots just wide. Banks with the ball over the top, and Norwood on the stretch, just unable to direct what would have been the winning goal for Tranmere.
I've got to say, it was great movement as well. For me, he's just edging. It's that such a clean one to call. He's probably just offside. But again, he goes to go for a goal first time. I think take a touch, stretch. It could be 1v1 even in the area. Then can you do something? You know, get the ball down. It's a fantastic ball in, and it was a great run.
David Pipe is warming up. He would be the obvious man to bring on. But do they think they still have to try and offer something here and keep both Matt and Amond up top?
Big decisions to make, you know. I think they can just try and close up shot and see it through to penalty kicks, but it's a difficult one because you're just asking Tranmere to come on, and with the quality they've got players that can score and create their own goal out of nothing. So it's a dangerous game to play.
Norwood losing out to Paul on this near side, and he kicks out at the turf in frustration. Now Monthe tries to ping it forward for Tranmere, headed away though by Amond, and it will be a throw-in for Tranmere. And all the stewards are marking out the walk up to the royal box here, which may be slightly premature because as things stand we are heading to extra time here at Wembley on Talksport. Our EFL special with Jason Cundy will follow at the end of this game, and Newport have won a throw-in on this near side, and can they snatch this with 10 men? Well, playoffs never fail to deliver drama or talking points, and this one certainly has. Newport will look at a couple of refereeing decisions in the second half. Win or lose.
They're gone now. You can't feel sorry for yourself. You can't think about what if. You know, you've got a job in hand. You've got to get on with it.
Is the time for Tranmere to make one final chance. Another long ball forward. It's headed away by Demetriou, who is now the senior man at the back. Sheehan has gone down with an injury for Newport. Quickly back to his feet. They don't really need any more added time at the moment. The worst they want to do is just get to 0-0, but now they want to throw it, and this will be an opportunity. Demetriou coming forward. Can the 10 men win it here?
Yeah, I'm surprised that McNulty there. You know, I think just put the foot through it, turn them, hit it as big as you can. He just side-footed it out right exactly where he was. So disappointing in that when he knows what their strengths are.
Newport, a man down, won't want extra time. Here is Demetriou with a long throw into the penalty area, fisted away by Davis. Wilmot will try and hook it back in field. Tranmere will try and clear. Pringle gets a toe to it, and now he will play it long down the far side, looking for the run of Norwood. Norwood can't win it. The whistle has gone, And a free kick, in fact a throw-in's been given to Newport again. Inside Tranmere territory, the ball had gone out there before Pringle cleared. Dimitriou again will try another long throw, maybe the final long throw of this game, if Newport can score. High into the penalty area once again, McNulty rising to clear. Jennings goes down as he tries to win it, and now a long ball is played over the top, and Norwood will chase, and Day will just allow the ball to gently bounce into his penalty area, and he bowls it out to Poole. Played long downfield by Regan Poole once again. McNulty's underneath it, he heads clear, Banks heads it back into his own penalty area, but Caprice will step in before his goalkeeper, and he's got the opportunity to bring it forward now for Tranmere Rovers. Seconds are left, and that is it. We are heading to extra time in the League 2 playoff final. It is finished. Newport County 0, Tranmere Rovers 0 after 90 minutes, but the key moment in the game came late on, the sending off of the Newport captain, Mark O'Brien. Thank you, Sags. Tranmere get the first period of extra time underway, 15 minutes. And if we're still level after half an hour, we will have penalties. And of course, Newport scored all 5 of their penalties in their semi-final win against Mansfield. And all 5 of those players are now on the field. But here's an opportunity for Tranmere at the start of extra time. But a long ball in looking for Connor Jennings. Doesn't quite find the target. And now Nelson will rise above Amon to clear the ball away. And here is Bakinson, who has got fresh legs and plenty of energy to drive forward here up towards the edge of the penalty area, but his run was tracked well by Banks, and Banks has now gone down, I think, with cramp on the edge of the penalty area. A reminder, both teams now have an extra change, so Newport can still make 2 more changes, and that's the same for Tranmere as well, who brought on McNulty and Pringle during the second half. And I would imagine, Chris, we will see 4 changes apiece here.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the weather, the effort that both teams have put into it, for sure. I think you've got to use it, got to have the legs. But again, the managers will know exactly who's comfortable with the penalty kicks. That's got to definitely be in mind as well. And I've got to say, with the way that Newport were composed and calm in that position, they know exactly what order they'll be going in.
A long ball forward for Newport, straight through to Scott Davis, who made that outstanding save to keep out Jamil Matt, turning his header onto the inside of a post midway through the second half. We played 2 minutes in extra time here on Talksport. If you're waiting for our EFL playoff special with Jason Cundy and David Connolly, that will follow at the end of this game, and we may have some way still to play here. Over on Talksport 2, there is commentary on the second Gallagher Premiership Rugby Union semi-final between Exeter and Northampton. Saracens, the holders, are waiting the winners in the final. Now Matt on the edge of the penalty area for Newport, believes he should have had a penalty late in normal time. Bakinson down the right hand side looking for Regan Poole on the overlap, and if Poole can get there, he would have the opportunity to deliver a very dangerous cross in, because he was in behind, but the ball was overhit and it's gone behind for a Tranmere goal kick.
Again, Regan Poole, that energy, busting forward every opportunity. Bakinson there just tried to force the pass rather than drive. His fresh legs, he's up against his man. He's already shown he's got that power, that athleticism to drive with it. Do that.
Connor Jennings unable to pick out Liam Rydalsh on the far side, the Tranmere left, and Jennings has been one of the more disappointing Tranmere performers today. On his day, he's a very clever player in League 2, but his passing radar has not really found the mark so far. Jennings again, back towards Perkins, and here is Ollie Banks. Banks threads it through to Norwood in the central area. Pringle takes over, player who came on midway through the second half. Wide towards Caprice down this right hand side. Caprice now will try and go beyond Butler and deliver the cross, and Caprice continues. Now he needs some support, looks to take on Butler, but he stands firm, reads the little trick that Caprice was trying, and will clear the ball away. But it's Banks who now nods it forward for Tranmere on the right hand side. There was a shirt pull on Caprice there, but he's strong enough to come away with the ball down the right, further down the line for Jennings, and he was offside, and 25,000 people knew he was offside.
Well, that's a great little battle as well with Caprice and Butler. You look at Butler now, you can see that he's tired, he's breathing, I think he's cramping up as well there. He couldn't even chase Caprice when he was breaking away, had a little pull at the shot. but again, it's great quality. You know, picking up second balls. Caprice looks like it's the first minute for him. He's so fit, and that could be a massive outlet for them. So it's good quality.
94 minutes played, and we can see on our monitor the Newport captain, Mark O'Brien, down in the tunnel, watching the remainder of this game on a television screen. He was sent off in the 89th minute. 2 yellow cards, and it has been a playoff series full of them so far, as Amond tries to find a mat on this near side, and the challenge comes in by Nelson on Dolan, and he got the ball, and Caprice will just boom it away off Butler on this near side, and it's a throw-in for Tranmere Rovers in their white shirts with blue shorts and white socks. Newport County in the amber and black, and it's been a really good atmosphere off the field. There's been no animosity at all between the two sets of supporters, no real history between them, apart from John Aldridge, who was a legendary striker at both clubs, and they've just got behind their team, and that goes for social media as well as inside the stadium. And it will be a shame to see one of them lose here, because both these clubs draw around 10,000 between them as an average attendance, and 2.5 times that here today. Now Pringle for Tranmere, back in field to the halfway line, and Ollie Banks, and the space here for Connor Jennings midway inside the Newport half. Norwood was looking for the early ball down the right. It slid forward to him, and when he eventually finds it, it's overhit. And that point we were making about Connor Jennings really borne out there.
No, exactly that. He's better. He's got better quality with that. Far too much. Great awareness. Turns with it well, and it's just that execution just lets him down. He's even got the quality there, and the awareness that he's got a time to take another little touch and let a shot go, because he's got a fantastic strike from distance as well.
And we played nearly 6 minutes in the first period of extra time here on Talksport. Newport 0, Tranmere 0 in the League 2 playoff final. Day clears downfield, wide to the far side for Newport. Amond will scoot across and keep it in play before Rydalsh, and it's back towards Wilmot. Newport playing towards the Tranmere fans here at the east end of the stadium, and Amond has tracked his run here to stay onside, and Matt was waiting in the centre, and Monfey though with a well-timed challenge, and he eventually clips it off the heels of Amond, and it's gone out for a throw into Tranmere by the corner flag on the far side there left.
I think what we've got to remember is that Newport are down to 10 men here, are still using the ball well, they're still finding space, good quality down the side to Amond there, and again Monfey, he's done it all along, been great defending, but it looks like it's even for me. They're not using that extra man, Tranmere.
Well, Tranmere won a playoff final with 10 men for virtually the whole game last year, so they'll be aware of what Newport County are facing, as Norwood tries to flick it beyond Dimitri on this near side, but the Newport defender recovers well, and he plays it back towards Joe Day, who clears downfield. Banks with a deft touch infield towards Caprice, and here is Perkins for Tranmere, finding Jennings in the number 10 position in the central area, and he scoops it wide to the far side, the left, and Rydalsh. The early cross in is looking for Norwood, but it's headed away by Dimitri. Perkins again with a downward header in the midfield area, finding Banks, poke back towards Nelson. And looking at the Tranmere formation now, they're trying to get Caprice advanced as much as they can down the right-hand side, almost playing now as a right winger.
Yeah, but they've also got to do what they're doing now. Those little passes, keeping possession of the ball, making Newport work very hard to get it back, and they've got the quality to do that.
Rydalsh now looking to burst into the penalty area left-hand side, but Regan Poole has been immaculate for Newport throughout the game, and he wins it back and clears. But now it comes to Banks, 25 yards out. Connor Jennings now stabs it into Norwood, right-hand side of the penalty area. Left foot shot from him, though, is blocked on the edge of the box by Dolan, and it spins away towards the Newport technical area, and Tranmere Rovers have a throw-in.
Well, I think Connor Jennings again turns, and he wants to play the ball to Caprice, but no, he just wants to get involved. He takes a great touch, he just wants to get his shot away. Wrong decision for me. Put it to Caprice, get yourself in the box, because I've got to say Caprice's quality's been excellent from the get-go. 98
minutes played on Talksport, 0-0 at Wembley in the League 2 playoff final. Banks with a high ball forward, wide to the far side again. Paul allows it to go, and in the end Day almost gets in a tangle with Rydalsh, but the ball has gone behind, and it's a goal kick to Newport County.
Well, I want Joe Day just to stay there, stay on his line. Don't come for that. If you're going to come, you've got to come and make a decision. You can't let it bounce once or twice, not even once in the box as he did there.
It's the Tranmere fans we can hear around Wembley at the moment. The Newport crowd may be slightly more nervous, their team playing with 10 men, but at the moment they are negotiating extra time very comfortably. 9 minutes played, and if it goes to penalties, they have the confidence and the know-how that they came through in a semi-final at Mansfield and scored all 5 of them. Tranmere have no real penalty-taking experience in a match situation to speak of.
And it's massive, Nigel, it's massive. You know, I think that's the thing. They know at the minute they're comfortable, Newport. They're using the ball well. You can't really see that they're chasing, but that's down to Tranmere. They're not having that quality. You know, when they get the ball at the feet, the small little passes. Perkins is massive for me. Can he come drop deep, get on the ball? His movement. I think even one-on-one he can glide past players. They're not doing it. They're not taking control of this match. Very much exactly what I've seen against Forest Green in the first leg. They never capitalised on that.
99 minutes played. 0-0. Jennings with the early ball forward over the top. Norwood's chasing now. Demetriou brings him down. Does he? No. The referee waves away the appeals, and Norwood believed that he was caught by Demetriou. And if that was a free kick, it would have been another red card.
Well, I think that's the reason why the referee's not gave it. I think it's a free kick. I think there's a link up. I think Demetriou has to go front. That's a free kick.
That's a red card.
That's a red, but that's the reason why it wasn't given, Nigel. If he gives it as a free kick, Demetriou has to go. And I've got to say, Ross Joyce has great positioning, can see that, and it's just one of them. You have to give a red card there, I'm afraid.
Well, maybe he's looking back on a couple of decisions earlier on, but well,
it doesn't matter. Exactly. If he got it wrong before, you can't make it right by getting another one wrong.
Norwood chasing another ball now. He brings it down well, down the right-hand side. Only Pringle waits in the penalty area. The ball delivered towards Pringle, headed away by Bennett. The game rather stretched at the moment, which will suit Tranmere with the extra player. Newport need to pack thing down once again. Here is Perkins. A couple of yards inside the Newport half, looking for options ahead of him. Spins back in field to try and open out the play to the left, and he's found Jennings. 25 yards from goal. Jennings continues, square towards Pringle. The outlet down the left is Rideout. Here is Rideout now. Back in field towards Banks. Norwood waits inside the penalty area. Tranmere being very patient here. Pringle again, finding Norwood, but the challenge comes in, but it will spin back into the path of Banks. Here is Rideout. Back towards Banks again. Sustained pressure here from Tranmere, but they're not really hurting Newport. But here is Perkins now, who will try and break into the penalty area down the left-hand side. Can he deliver a cross beyond Paul? He does. It's deflected, and it's hacked away by Demetriou inside the 6-yard area. But Monfey will recover. Newport very, very deep now. Here is Banks again. The Tranmere crowd raise their volume. Nelson finding Pringle once again. 3 minutes to play in the first period of extra time here on Talksport. 0-0 in the League 2 playoff final. Ade Aziz still waiting to come on now as the ball is played into the penalty area in behind Rideout, and Rideout is flagged offside.
They want Newport, they've been outstanding. A man less, Tranmere aren't troubling them at all. They're compact, they're deep. Tranmere just moving the ball slow. I think Perkins did the right thing there. He got on the ball, he drove, he got in the box, he's trying to create something. That's what you've got to do. Tranmere they brought Ben Pringle on. That's what he does. He runs with the ball. He can commit players, take players out of position. They're not doing that. They're not using that extra man. If they're not passing the ball with pace, they're causing Newport no problems whatsoever, Nigel.
Here is the third change for Newport. Ian.
Okay, so Ade Aziz coming on, Nigel. Initially, it was going to be Jamil Matt who was coming off. Then Michael Flint changed it and wanted Podrick Amon to come off. But then thinking about the fact he's got penalties, he went back to his initial decision. So Jamil Matt has actually come off. He looks absolutely exhausted. But talk about being decisive. I mean, I just don't understand that.
Well, they now have the 5 penalty takers on the field who took penalties against Mansfield, because Mike Flynn may be looking at that now.
Of course, I think you have to look at it. You know, you want the right characters. I think they've done well. He knows that they're marshalling this first period of extra time very well. You know, Tranmere for me been disappointing, and this, when they've got that extra man, you've got to use it. They've got the quality. They can pass with a bit of pace. But look, Newport are being a threat.
Here is Baconson now, down the left-hand side for Newport. Can the 10 men come up with something? Well, they've won a corner. The cross deflected behind, off Ollie Banks, and with 90 seconds to play in the first period of extra time, it does not look like a game between 11 against 10 at the moment.
I think Connor Jennings as well, they're going down with cramp. You know, they've worked very hard, both players. It's just who wants it more. Doesn't matter if there's an extra man or not. It all comes down to desire and just that little bit of quality at the end.
Wilmot will take the corner for Newport. Set piece is even more important now. A man down, it's high into the penalty area, nodded towards goal, and it's a comfortable save in the end for Scott Davis. It was Amond who peeled away at the far post, and Davis able to gather.
Again, Amond's done everything right, put it back into... No, you can't really say it was a header on target. He's just trying to put it in there, keep it alive.
Now Paul's given the ball away to Ridehouse on the far side by the corner flag, and the ball is squirted towards the penalty area, but there was no Tranmere player there, and Joe Day will be able to gather. And we have 30 seconds of the first period of extra time to go, and there will be a single added minute at the end of that. And both teams have slugged themselves to a standstill here, 0-0. Day will take the goal kick, and Norwood makes a token challenge on the edge of the penalty area, and it will bounce all the way through, and Aziz at the other end has to force the punch from Davis, and Tranmere will eventually recover possession on this near side. They had three central defenders there who all looked at each other, and Aziz almost capitalised.
Well, I have no idea what McNulty's doing there. He allows the ball to bounce, Aziz, and then he reacts, and basically he takes Aziz completely out of play.
Here's Caprice coming forward now for Tranmere, down the right-hand side, finding Connor Jennings in a crossing area. The early ball is deflected behind, off Butler, and it will be a Tranmere corner with seconds to play in the first period of extra time. And they've got to hurry up here. Pringle will take it. Monthe moving forward with Nelson. McNulty is the last man. It's a long way for him to get forward, and then have to get back again in these conditions. Pringle will take it. An in-swinger, left-footed, high to the far post. Monthe peels away, tries to nod it back in field, but Tranmere set pieces have been dreadful all day, and that one goes behind for a goal kick.
Well, I think Monthe there's just got to listen to Ridehouse as well. He's gave the shout. You can see them having a little word there. But again, it's they've not done enough for me in this first half. The Tranmere.
Well, that is half time. In extra time, we are 15 minutes away from penalties, 0-0. And the final change has been made by Newport County. Ian, give us the details. Well, we can't go down to Ian Abrahams at the moment, so it's Keanu Marsh-Brown who has come on to replace Robbie Wilmot. And Marsh-Brown was in the Forest Green Rovers side, which beat Tranmere 3-1 here in the National League playoff 2 years ago. Manny Monthe was also up against Tranmere on that day before moving to Birkenhead, as Newport get the second period underway, playing with 10 men following the sending off of their captain Mark O'Brien, but at the moment they are looking pretty comfortable. Tranmere overall, I think, will be disappointed with their display. They've not really caused enough problems. Here is Paul with a cross into the penalty area towards the far post. Baconson will gather by the corner flag. On the far side, the Newport left. They'll try and take on Banks and deliver the cross in. Banks stands firm for now, also has support from Caprice, and the cross in from Baconson is nodded away at the far post. It's quickly won back by Dolan. Dolan goes down in instalments on the edge of the area, but it comes to Marsh-Brown, who drives it in towards the near post, and it's turned aside by Scott Davis for a corner.
Again, I think Dolan goes down a little bit softly there, but Marsh-Brown gets it. One thing in mind, can he get his shot away? Fantastic strike. I think it was going wide, but Davies never knew a lot about it.
Corner for Newport, and Matty Dolan applauds their supporters who have been terrific, backing their 10 men. And when you look back at playoff finals in which sides a man down have come back, remember Bobby Zamora scoring the winner for Queen's Park Rangers here in the Championship playoff against Derby back in 2014, and Derby will be back here on Monday against Villa, live on Talksport. The corner is worked short to Marsh-Brown, who's able to turn, delivers the cross in, and it's fisted away at the near post by Scott Davis. And the danger's still not clear for Tranmere. Monthe with a header wide to this near side, and it will be a Newport throw. And at the moment they've got Tranmere penned in.
Yeah, as I say, they're a man down. They're using the ball well. They're getting in that final third. Look at the bodies in the box as well. They're going out to try and win this. I'm just disappointed at Tranmere that they're not clearing their lines. They're not winning second balls. They're not driving with it. They're not using that extra man with the pace of the passing.
Winged in by Demetrio, and it's headed away at the near post. Demetrio again may think about the shot here, but he cuts it back, and it's a good ball. Marsh Brown inside the penalty area, right hand side. Can he go towards the byline? But it's good defending by Perkins to rob him, and Perkins slides it out towards Connor Jennings. Jennings with the early ball forward, and here is Norwood now looking to isolate Butler, heading towards the penalty area down the right hand side. Norwood comes in field, the shot is deflected, and it's just wide, and James Norwood almost gave Tranmere the breakthrough there.
Well, I think James Norwood, that's all he wants. He wants to get in that position. He comes on to his left. I think it's Butler, isn't it? Broke his neck to get there, and just that little deflection took it wide to go. Outstanding. But Norwood is just lethal. In that position, he wants the one thing to do, get the shot away, and it was the deflection was needed to knock it wide.
Pringle will take the corner on this near side, whipped in towards the near post area, and it's headed away, and the free kick will be given. Scott Bennett was the player fouled there by Sid Nelson. Took a ride on him as one or two players go down and try and stretch their calves to evade the cramp, and Tranmere have Adam Buxton and Paul Mullin warming up just in front of us. Buxton is a penalty taker, and that may be in their minds now.
Yeah, I think Mickey Mellon's got to be thinking about that as well now. You've still got to try and capitalise on it. But I'd like to say, what is it, 10, what's to go here? Yeah, 12, 30 minutes, I think still a lot of time in football. They've got to take this half by the scruff of their neck and try and kind of use that, capitalise on that extra man. They're not doing it at the minute.
But Newport have been heroic in the final weeks of the season, and they've shown those qualities here today as Pringle looks to dash beyond Paul, but he's lost out, and here is Marsh Brown, who knows what it's like to beat Tranmere in a playoff final here recently. Inside the midfield area, he's ankle tapped by Perkins, and Perkins needs to be careful here. He's on a yellow card, so one rash challenge and he could be off as well.
Yeah, I think Perkins done what he had to there, stop Marsh Brown. Good close control from Marsh Brown as well, and he's one of those players that will go on the ball and drive, and you need it. I've got to say I wouldn't say the Tranmere are using that extra man that Newport are needing a breather at the minute. It's Newport that's controlling the tempo of this game.
Paul will take the free kick on halfway, right footed, high towards the far side, and in the end it goes all the way through beyond Aziz, and it will be a goal kick for Tranmere Rovers, and we have just over 10 minutes to play in extra time. Our EFL special with Jason Cundy and David Connolly coming up at the end of this game, which still has potentially a penalty shootout to come. 0-0. There were one goal in the two league games this season. Everybody thought this game would be tight, and that's the way it's proved as Jennings flicks on for Tranmere from the goal kick from Davis. Norwood will chase, but it's cleared away by Bennett, but one back by Ridehouse, who will try and come forward down the left hand side. Now Pringle heads it forward, a stumbling Jennings tries to find Norwood down the left and does so. Back in field towards Perkins now for Tranmere, who've got bodies forward on the edge of the penalty area, and it's laid back towards Banks, who strikes it, and it was always too high. Caught it cleanly from 25 yards, but Joe Day always had it covered.
Well, I've got to say, better play there. Connor Jennings find it in to Perkins, he drives with it, it comes across the Banks, and we know that he's got an absolute worldie strike in him, so why not take it on from there?
Half time in the second Gallagher Premiership semi-final over on Talksport 2. It is Exeter 14, Northampton 12, so tight at Sandy Lane. The winners play Saracens in the final, the holders after their 44-19 win over Gloucester. And if you like your rugby league, Wigan against Warrington from the Magic Weekend is live on Talksport at 7 o'clock. Always a great game to enjoy. And all three Magic Weekend games are on Talksport 2 tomorrow from 1. Now Jennings for Tranmere, clipped by Paul, and it's a free kick inside Newport territory, and Tranmere look to rush it, but the referee will pull it back because there's going to be a yellow card here shown towards the Manchester United loanee.
Yeah, I think Paul's just came down the back of the Achilles there. I don't think there was any genuine attempt for the ball. I think just a reaction of Connor Jennings there that's forced the referee to bring the card out. But good close control from Connor Jennings. Could release it a little bit earlier. Yeah, it's just a tired challenge here from Regan Poole. Come right down the back. It is a sore one, I have to say.
Ridehouse over the free kick. Newport have everybody back behind the ball once again. 8 minutes to play in extra time. Ridehouse delivers high towards the far post. Rising is Banks to head it infield. It's gathered by Monfey outside the penalty area. He comes infield, clips it up towards the edge of the area. Poole with an unchallenged header away, and in the end Perkins needs to get there before Marsh Brown for Tranmere, and does. And here is Ridehouse on this near side fighting Jennings. Now Perkins. Tranmere looking to create something. They've done very little in extra time. Perkins looks to fasten onto a 1-2 inside the area, and after a couple of ricochets it bobbles through towards Joe Day.
Yeah, but you can see that Tranmere are trying to get on the ball and drive him with it. Connor Jennings is linking up. Perkins there could be a little bit sharper with it. You know what I mean? I think, try and commit someone to make something happen. And I think it was Recalshire or Regan Poole that was a little bit lucky with the challenge.
McNulty now steps in before Aziz, and Bennett just lumps it forward for Newport. They will take distance at the moment over quality, and we have 7 minutes to play. 0-0 at Wembley on Talksport. There will be a change shortly as Tranmere look to build on the far side. Caprice down the right hand side, tries to poke it forward, goes down, doesn't get the free kick, and Newport have it back. They've done brilliantly with 10 men to manage this game. Now Poole down the line for Marsh Brown on this near side. Monfey comes out to make the challenge. It's back towards Poole. Monfey will now have to retreat high up towards the edge of the penalty area. Aziz is challenging for it. It breaks to Marsh Brown inside the area, right hand side. It's swung in towards the near post, fisted away by Davis, and it's Ridehouse who comes in to hook the ball away, and it spins clear for a throw into Newport on this near side. Tranmere are about to make another change, but maybe not before this throw-in. Always very dangerous to make a change when they are defending, but that's what they're doing. Here's the Moose.
Sid Nelson, who struggled early on with injury, is battled through to this point. He's coming off again, by the way. Tranmere have changed that late. Initially they weren't going to take off Jake Caprice, but it's Sid Nelson who they bring off, and Adam Buxton is the man who's introduced with 6 minutes to go.
Adam Buxton, another footballer who, in terms of stature, gives hope to all of us. He's another big man, but he's a very technical player, and his one goal this season was a penalty in a 5-1 win against Crawley. Dimitri with the long throw towards the near post. Newport hoping to maybe avoid penalties. Appeals for holding inside the area as Tranmere clear. And here is Jennings on this near side. Checks back in field and looks to find Banks charging over the halfway line. Norwood takes over. The space for Pringle down the right-hand side. Norwood tries to find him, but it was Baconson who tracked back well to make the block. And now Dolan recovers it for Newport. Just over 5 minutes of extra time to play. Both sides absolutely shattered. It is 0-0 here in the League Two playoff final on Talksport. And Newport, I think at this stage, would be confident they would be the favourites if it went to penalties. And now players from both sides go tumbling, and it's Perkins who is penalised for the pullback on Aziz. And Perkins, as the Newport crowd are reminding the referee Ross Joyce, has already been booked.
Well, I think that's just a clash. They've just come into each other. I don't think there was any intention of it. You know, it's a little bit Oh, I'm looking at it on the monitor. Yeah, the referee, I'll eat my words there. I think there's definitely a little pull. Very lucky, by the way. Is that not a yellow card? If you've seen that, is that not a yellow card? I'll just ask the question.
Well, it depends who you support.
That's true.
4 minutes to play. Dolan with the free kick high into the area, and it's nodded away by Banks towards this near side. So Tranmere have brought on Adam Buxton purely for the possibility of penalties here, because he is a regular penalty taker. We're in that sort of territory now. Dimitri, though, has a long throw for Newport down this near side. Can the 10 men win it before the ultimate drama? High in from Dimitri into the penalty area. McNulty rises to head the ball clear, and Pringle will try and win it back, and now Jennings plays the early ball over the top looking for Ridehouse. Butler heads it back towards Day, who comes outside his penalty area to whack the ball clear, and then McNulty with another powerful header forward. Norwood knew he was offside, so didn't challenge for it, and it's gathered by Ridehouse. Here now is Pringle as the midfield begins to disintegrate, and it's another poor ball from Jennings. Doesn't find Pringle. And it's Newport who come forward with Poole. Now Aziz on this near side. Monte again with another strong challenge. And now Pringle finds Jennings. Only Rydalsh ahead of him, but it's a clever ball this time to bring Caprice into the game. Down the left-hand side, Jennings continues his run down the right. Caprice will look to take on a backtracking Butler. He's got Banks on the outside. Now Jennings, 20 yards out. Back towards Caprice again. Tranmere rather laboured in possession here. Here is the early ball into the area, and the glancing header from Norwood at the near post is palmed down and gathered by Day.
Again, great ball in. I think Connor Jennings, he's just dictating it. He's getting on the ball, he's making things happen. Movement again from James Norwood. He's done everything right, directed the ball. There was enough pace in the ball that all he needed was just a little glance. I don't think it quite troubled Day, but again, good movement from in the end, but a great ball in.
2.5 minutes to play. 0-0 on Talksport. Penalties are looming here at Wembley. Played forward by Connor Jennings, who pulls up with cramp again. And the ball will spin across to this near side. And it's Newport who have given up possession. I think both sets of supporters have screamed themselves to a standstill as well during this game. Nobody has left anything out there at all. Now Perkins down the line for Tranmere on this near side, but Jennings won't get there. It's cleared away by Bennett into the midriff of Mickey Mellon, their manager. Rydalsh will take the throw-in on this near side, in towards Banks. Square now to the far side, and Buxton. He finds Caprice down the right-hand side. Caprice again from some way out will have to try and take on Butler. He's got Buxton charging forward on the overlap, and now Buxton can deliver the cross. He's gone beyond Baconson. Great skills into the penalty area. Back towards Pringle, and now wide towards Caprice again. Space for the delivery. Early looking for Norwood. Jennings with a header! And Connor Jennings has done it! 2 minutes to play, and Tranmere Rovers surely have the goal, which clinches back-to-back promotions. Connor Jennings, a hero 12 months ago, has come up with a big moment once again, and the 10 men of Newport look absolutely crestfallen. But Tranmere Rovers are on the brink of promotion once again. Wembley drama all the way on Talksport. It's Newport County 0, Tranmere Rovers 1.
I've got to say, what a ball in that was. I think Adam Buxton's come on, great little bit of skill, he finds Pringle, it goes wide, puts a great ball in. And I've got to say, Connor Jennings, what a finish, right place, right time. Again, movement, the two of them, the movement between the two was excellent. Norwood just over him, but it's just one of them. Do you leave your man? Connor Jennings got free header there, poor defending at the end of it, but you know what, tired legs, finished it well.
Well, what have Newport got left? Unbelievable. Mike Dean, as we can see, well, he doesn't know whether to laugh or cry.
All emotions have been left out there. I think both sets of players have given everything, you know, tired legs. Just got to go for it, go direct. I don't think there's a lot of time left.
2 minutes of added time. 2 minutes between Tranmere Rovers and back-to-back promotions. Can Newport save themselves for penalties? The early ball into the area will be hoofed away by Rydalsh. Now it's Regan Paul high into the penalty area. There's some shirt pulling going on there, but Banks will rise to clear. Tranmere want to make another change. Harvey Gilmore will be coming on shortly. McNulty steps in as a cross is flicked above him. McNulty will just boom the ball clear, and that's all they need to do now. Wow. Only the playoffs does this.
Yeah, exactly. It's just an absolute lottery. I was a bit nervous about it going to penalties. I'd rather it be one, but just a late goal like that, it can be devastating for Newport. Close it is.
Now it's picked up by Perkins. He's been penalised. It's a free kick for Newport. This is surely their final chance. Wow.
It's massive. All bodies up for me. You know, I think you just got to take it on, haven't you?
Perkins, the player penalised. Chaos on and off the field here. This could be Newport's final chance to save themselves. Joe Day is forward, the goalkeeper. This is the season. This is the season for both clubs now. Norwood just looking to waste time. Marsh Brown is over the free kick. Joe Day, the goalkeeper, is forward. Dolan's delivery, high into the penalty area. McNulty is there to clear, and now the goalkeeper could be in trouble as Jennings steps in to knock it up into the air. Norwood with a header further clear. It's gathered by Marsh Brown on this near side. The Tranmere crowd think it's the full-time whistle, but it's not. And now Norwood will challenge again. Day loses out, and there's a challenge on this near side. Norwood on Marsh Brown, and still we play on.
Just one final ball in the box, and the ref's got to let it play out, hasn't he?
Butler will take the free kick. Day stays forward. If Tranmere defend this, they are surely promoted. Butler's free kick, high into the penalty area. The goalkeeper's up there. It's nodded clear by McNulty. Gathered by Dimitri on the far side. The challenge comes in from Banks. Banks has won it back, and that is it! Tranmere Rovers can celebrate back-to-back promotions. The Newport County players crumpled to the turf in utter despair. They gave everything with 10 men, but for the second season running, the Tranmere Rovers players spill onto the pitch to celebrate. 12 months ago, they had to win to come back into the league. Now they are heading back to League One, and after back-to-back relegations, they have squared the circle. It is back-to-back promotions for Tranmere Rovers.